And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Benched with Bubba, episode 720. A little bit different show tonight. Going to be a fun one. Going to be a wild one. Looking forward to embarrassing myself. So here you are, everybody. But before we get to that, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric. My co-host coming at you on Twitter at BreakingBen_T Bented. How we doing, my friend?
Doing great, Bubba. I'm looking forward to this draft. I haven't seen a 12-team draft in a long time, so it'll be good to see how things change up, if at all. But and also good luck to you, because this is a real draft for you, and I know how good you. I know you prefer your OCs, but I mean, it sounds like you are in a 50 right now, which is a 12-team draft and hold for those unaware. And I think you did one before that too. So at least you've gotten a taste of the 12-team format or the style versus the DCs that are 15s.
Yeah, 12-team leagues where if you leave a draft not happy, you probably did something wrong, because you should be able to put together a pretty solid squad, all things considered. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. But this will be fun. It's a beat Bubba, NFBC OC. It's January 20th, which is earlier than normal for me. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how that goes. There's some heavy hitters in here, a couple CLQs going down in this chat, in this draft. We'll have the board for you guys, nameless, so no people get angry. We know how that whole thing goes, but Ben and I will be going. And for those that want to sit in the chat that are in the draft, you'll know what I'm going to do. It's not my first time doing this rodeo, so it would be pretty normal for me to get sniped from time to time. We have a couple Bubba and Boom Discord people in here, which is always great. And for those that are wondering, I have pick 11 of 12, so I'll be on the turn, which will keep things moving right along for our discussion purposes. But Ben will be here for the entertainment factor, besides me, doing foolish things and seeing where that goes. But any thoughts on your first go around of the live draft feed?
I do love these. One of the episodes I always look most forward to that you and Ryan do on Bubba and the Bloom is the labor draft, which I think is in about a month or so. So just to be on the air this time for this, which should have a similar vibe, but something about the labor draft is always so much fun. I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got some tips from Ryan. He reached out to me before earlier in the evening, little tips for how to make this be a little more entertaining. So I'll try to do my best. And he did say he will be in the chat as well. So I won't be as good as Ryan is as nudging you, but I'll try.
Yeah, no, he mentioned that he gave you some pointers for this, so that'll be good for sure. We'll see how that all takes place to see what expertise he gave you, because the labor one is fun, because I just sit back and heckle him the entire time. And it's a 15-teamer, so it takes even longer. This should be about 2.5 hours, give or take, depending on who wants to drag their feet through this. And right now, we have all but one person in the draft room, and I'll let you, Ben, guess who that one person is out of the 12, but you'd be correct, most likely. So, yes, we will get that party started here. The draft goes in less than 2 minutes. I'll put a board up for everyone to look at. Yeah, 12-teamers, it's one of those you can wait on pitching a lot of the time, but do you want to wait on pitching? There's an overall component. What's really cool about this, or different, I guess, is drafting so early, Ben. The waiver wire for the first run is going to be bananas, because there's a lot of what ifs still going. Anthony Santander signed this morning, but we had a ton of closers, a ton of other players. No idea where they're going right now.
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned waiting on pitching a little bit longer. Do you actually have a strategy? And since there's many listeners, or a handful of listeners in this draft with you, don't have to actually say what your strategy is if you do have one. But are you just going to try to see what happens with the draft? Do you have a plan in mind?
I'll kind of go with the flow of the draft. That's what I tend to do with the OCs, because there are so many options. I'll still try to target, my statistics that we talk about on all our shows, about trying to be more focused on certain categories and maybe positions, as we've done positional debates. And Ryan and I have done some previews to kind of get an idea on things. But that'll kind of be the gist of it. I would say for the most part, I go with the flow. I usually don't take pitching early. I don't plan on doing that, but I've said that last year in an OC. And I had an early pick, and I went with a 2-3 turn starting pitchers. So things fall in these drafts, and that's where it gets fun and makes you make tougher decisions, I guess. And the draft's about to start.
Yes, so, and they're on the clock. All right.
Yes, this is going to be good.
Here we go.
Game on, everybody. And I'm assuming it's going to be Shohei, but time will tell on this one. And yes, it was Shohei Ohtani. So there you go. I'm assuming, is that your number one at this point in time, or are you considering Bobby Witt as your number one?
No, I think if I ever do get a first overall pick, I will go Witt.
You will go Witt. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I think as a discussion Ryan and I had the other night too of what to do there is because we all like Shohei and nothing wrong with Shohei, but there's something about Bobby Witt that I even said at my DC, I had the second pick and I was like, just pumped. I'm like, yep, bring me Bobby Witt. I'll take that all day long. So pretty good there.
Right.
LED of the Cruise at 4, Ben. What are your thoughts there?
Well, that's standard ADP. I wouldn't do it, but I know that's kind of how things have been more often than not in the handful of drafts I've been a part of. These picks are flying off the board though. We're already at 6, and it's been not even a minute.
Yeah, and it's been pretty much straight down the ADP list, as some would come to expect, which kind of surprising, but kind of not, because we've talked about it a lot. You can't go wrong with a lot of these early picks, barring injuries, which you can't predict. So, like in theory, if it comes down to me, I'm looking like a Mookie Bet. Skeens is there. I'm not a first guy Skeens. So then it becomes like J-Rod, Vladimir Guerrero, Lindor. I think some people know who I like. And there goes Corbin Carroll at 9. That's when I was praying would fall to me, but he did not. So
that would have been a nice get.
So
look who's up. Bubba's here. Bubba's ready to go.
Tatis is sitting there, and that's a guy I have not wanted to draft all year long. So we're gonna screw up the ADP here, and we're gonna go J-Rod at number 11.
I mean, you could get Tatis come back to you in the second round, depending on what happens. Okay, 50-50 shot now.
I'm looking for Lindor. If Lindor comes back, Jackson Chourio, great pick. See, it's Tatis or Chourio. Letting Tatis fall feels so dirty. But I love Lindor. We've talked about shortstops. So a start with J-Rod and Lindor makes me pretty happy.
Do you think the shortstop landscape is a lot different in a 12-teamer versus a 15-teamer? Or do you think the same cliff applies?
It is going to be different, obviously, just based on depth alone. But I would say that it is not as bad. Okay. I probably could have waited a little bit there. On shortstop, I love Lindor. I think he's a 30-30 guy once again, and we just roll with it.
I mean, that's 14th overall, and that's pretty fair with where Lindor has been going anyway. So I don't think that's a bad pick at all. And first pitcher's off, Paul Skeens, and then Schoolbart behind him, team 9, then team 8 on the way back.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I get it. We've talked about it many times. Some people love that early pitching. So Skeens, Skubal back-to-back there early round 2, which is basically the first 2 picks of round 2 in a 15. But my question to you is, Jazz Chisholm just went 18th overall.
Yeah, that's definitely pushing it for me.
Yeah,
I like Jazz, but I don't like him in the top 20.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Like if you want, and we talked about this on the show with Ryan the other night, is he's going as high as 16th in January DCs. His ADP is like 25 or something like that. But if you want Jazz, you got to go get Jazz. And means I probably won't have any Jazz as much as I like the guy just because of the volatility. Like, again, plays 140-plus games. He's worth every bit of that pick, every bit of it. But done it once. And that's a big what if at that point in time.
Yeah, and he's another guy who, kind of like with Ellie, the average is not going to be second-round quality most likely. So you have to really make sure. I mean, Soto seems like a good pick to pair with, but Soto's had his share of underwhelming average years too. But it's a 12-teamer, so it's a little bit different mentality.
Yeah, and you got replacement value, they say, and 12-teamer, especially in OC, you're playing for the overall in an OC, so you want to go for broke. So you're playing for Jazz to hit that top-tier production at the same time. So in that vein, it makes sense. Ronald Acuna Jr. goes at pick 20 overall. That's a guy that I'm having a tough time going for. Again, you could get a ceiling play, but coming off the injury, I'm just very, very wary of that situation.
Yeah, so am I. I've had chances to draft Acuna so far, but he's not someone I would want to take until we get more information once spring training starts.
Yeah, he's a tricky one. Third pitcher off the board, Zach Wheeler, going off the board at the 10th pick of round 2. So we got 3 pitchers going in round 2 after none in round 1. And then Jackson Merrill, that could be the gift that keeps on giving if it falls to the end of round 2 like that. That's a Witt Jackson Merrill start you can't draw it up a whole lot better if you like the young talent.
That's a very good batting average floor, I would say.
Yeah, it's a strong approach to thing here. Also, first fab draft I'm doing here, and first obviously live draft. I'm trying out Ryan's draft tracker thing because you can do it for draft and holds for 15s and 12s as well as fab leagues. It changes the targets, so we'll see how this plays out. Only using steamer projections, of course, because we don't have any others just yet. But we'll see where this one keeps going.
Chris Sale went maybe a little early. But it is a turn pick, so if that's who they wanted, then you got to get him.
Yep, not coming back.
That's early, though. It feels like for Manny Machado, who we had a nice debate about last week.
Yeah, your guy's still on the board. No, kidding.
I would have him still on the board too at this point. I think it's a little early for that, but I mean, without looking at my sheet to get a sense of, well, I don't think the switch from 10 to 12 to 15 matters that much right now. It's more about like more of a general strategy, I think, is where it really changes things. But
I am kind of surprised by all the pitching going on here. Another Logan Gilbert with the second pick around 3. We're seeing him fly off pretty quick. I know it's, again, an OC. It's different overall, but even in DCs and in the 50s, a lot of these pitchers aren't going this soon. So a lot of movement here. I guess makes you think, Ben, when you're doing your main events later on, how things are going to look if they're jumping up in these formats as well. There goes, man, God dang. William.
Were you hoping for him to come back to you, or are you just saying that because of how early it is? I mean, it's 27th overall, which is
it's fair.
It's not that early for him, I don't think.
No, his ADP is 25.
Yeah, I took him 21 in one of my leagues. So
no, it's a fair pick. It's one of those like you're like, oh, please come back, that'd be awesome. But it would have been a fluke to have that one take place, that's for sure.
How do you? So does your mindset about catchers change now that you're in a 12-teamer, or are you kind of the same? Whatever it's been for you?
I usually wait a little more. If they fall to me, I will go for it. Yes, that's for sure. I'll go for it, but I'm not trying to be as aggressive. I'm still leaving with one of my 2 of my guys that I've been targeting, 2 of my top 14, 15 guys. That's the goal, but you can kind of play that chicken a little more in a format like this.
And also, too, if you don't get a strong catcher, too, you can always add someone midseason because it is a fab league.
A lot of good platooning options. I remember talking to some guys that have won overalls in the past on some of my shows, and that is an option. But then again, I had my show with Stephen Goodwin earlier, and he talked about how some of these guys that won the overalls did attack catching quite early. Those were 15s, though, not 12s, but same philosophy could apply.
Yeah, you really have to hit if you go early catcher, you really have to hit the other guys that are making up where you would normally go catcher, like those late 200 round, late 100s, early 200s, like where you would normally get a catcher too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, see, this is where it's getting tough. I noticed this in my 12.
DeGrom off the board, middle of round 3.
That's a strong pick. He is one of the meatball guys, though, so that makes sense in that regard. As these get going into back around 3 and around 4, a lot of the hitters are not the hitters I usually take, so it almost pushes me into pitching per se. But we'll see how this one breaks down because I might do something really, really foolish and different here. Nope. Churchill took Trey Turner, so there goes that foolish and different thing right out the gate. That
would not have been foolish. That would have been a nice steady base of power and speed that you would have gotten if you did get Trey.
Well, so here's my base of power and speed. It might hurt me in batting average, but we're going to go this route here. And I'm going to go with O'Neal Cruz in this one. In a OC, I'll take my chances there.
Okay, nice.
And I'll throw him in the outfield for now, just for my own sanity looking at things. But there's another power speed guy, and I think we've talked about how he surprised me in his overall batting average department as well. Yeah,
I took O'Neal Cruz in my current DC, and I'm fine with it. I think he could. I know that the projections are asking him to do something he's never done before, but he's only 26. He finally had a full year under his belt last year, and his underlying StatCast metrics are as good as anyone's almost, minus the strikeouts, of course. But it's worth it. With Lindor and J-Rod, I think your average will be fine. And Cruz isn't projected to hurt you in average. It's just he'll be like average. And Bubba takes the first closer.
Yeah, I was
Evan Williams
looking at that. I want an elite closer. I'm not sure if they'll make it back to me the way starting pitching is flying off the board. I was debating between O'Neal Cruz and Wyatt Langford. I probably should have went Wyatt Langford over at O'Neal Cruz in that regard, but Langford went right after Cruz, and I decided that I'm going to go Devin Williams over Emmanuel Clase. Clase still dominant. I think just Devin Williams is even more dominant. Being on the Yankees should help. So it's like a 1A, 1B for me in those two, but I'll go Devin Williams in that scenario.
I mean, assuming health, you probably get 40 more strikeouts as well, which is not it's very significant to have that edge in strikeouts, which is why I get Clase has the, I guess, security of getting a ton of saves, but I don't know. His velocity his velocity is a little bit lower, he struggles like we saw in the playoffs. And I think as a K per 9 closer, it's tough to go with that over some other guys like Hader and Devin Williams, who can give you a pretty high K percentage.
Yep, totally. My thought process as well. So glad we agree on that one. But now I get to really try to figure out how I want to navigate the minefields. I got time for that, obviously, but going the closer early doesn't really crush the pitching. Like, you mentioned the strikeout upside that he could bring to the table, but does leave some emptiness of starting pitchers with strikeout upside leaving the board per se. So we'll see.
Second closers off the board. Class A went to Team 6.
So it's even more pitchers are flying off. Kirby, Cole Reagans has gone, but it's like the Devers and Olsen, like the profiles that are, 3 to 4 category guys where I kind of maybe wrongly pass on, but guys that aren't really on my board unless I'm desperate for power. But I feel like I got enough early with Lindor and hopefully J-Rod, and then O'Neill Cruz helped too.
Yeah, I mean, well, J-Rod ideally gets you 30 homers. Lindor can. O'Neill Cruz should be close to that. So 90 homers. It's not asking a lot there from those 3 guys. So I think you're doing well so far for yourself.
Yep, that works. And for me, and according to the team tracker here, I am way ahead of all my offensive statistics, as you would hope for at this point in the draft.
Did you update for an OC?
Yes, it's a 12-team fab is what I have. It's the best I can do. I don't know what Ryan's settings are in there, but I'm assuming that's what he put in there. He was using NFBC data, so I would assume that's what he has. If not, you know me.
Some words with your co-host afterwards.
Yes, yeah, yep. This is how it's going to be. Moose, our buddy Gialdi, pretty funny stuff here. He says, Bubba, this is the most important draft of your life. Oh, you have no idea. Yeah. And then Ryan did say, yes, it's 4 OCs. So
okay.
We're good there. We're good there.
It could be a simple overlook. I just wanted to make sure that.
And with me, simple technological overlooks all day long. Very, very simple stuff there. When I get in the deep dark stuff here, I even have your sheet pulled up of your Z score with your rankings that maybe I'll get to if I can move around this board fast enough. That might be something I'll be looking at as well.
Yeah, if you were able to take it where you can eliminate players from who have already been picked. I mean, you already have Ryan, so it's going to be tough for you to do that. Yeah. You'd ideally want them tied together so that they're updating at the same time. But that could be really good for an OC, which has the overall, because if you're hoping to compete for the overall with this team, I mean, it is your first one, so maybe you're just trying to shoot for the league. The taking out the positional adjustments and just looking at overall value could help for if that was your goal.
Yep, just look at the ceiling type stuff here and see where it goes. But the reason why, I took Devin Williams, and this is why it's nice to see how this plays out. There's a lot of closers still that I'm hoping are gone by my next pick. So I'm going to be really mad if I jumped the gun on that one, which very well could have, all things said and done. But we're heading into round 5 already. We are flying in this draft, which is, there goes Iglesias. Okay, that's my other dude right there. So don't feel so bad now. Now I feel better about it. Thank you, Dale.
Are you one to draft to have, or I guess to start 3 closers in a 12-teamer? Or
I usually try to go for 2 high-end closers, and I might have one on my bench later, like off the fab, or a spec guy that might pan out. But if anything, it'll be like a late spec guy, and if it works, it works. But I'm not gonna really. If it's my 3rd closer, it's one of my last picks. Let's put it that way. So, not gonna push that envelope there. But now we got to see how I want to start building things, because it's about to start getting murkier as we go through this draft board. Since I have my shortstop, 2 outfielders, or an outfielder and a middle infielder, and a closer right now. Obviously, only 4 picks in, but a lot of moving and shaking still to be done here.
Yeah, for sure. Some of those picks are a little surprising. I guess people wanted their power with the first baseman who went in the 4th round. I think they'd probably fit more in the 5th round, at least for how I value them. Talking about Olsen and Alonso. Yeah. Mainly because the average there is a reliability potentially for both. So they're looking at 3 category guys in the 4th round of the 12, which, I mean, if you think they're going to hit 40+ homers, which they certainly both can, I guess it makes sense, but you just got to be careful with those builds if you go that way.
Ton of yellow on the board right now. A ton of yellow, yes. Way more than I've seen in any other draft. So the whole idea of doing other drafts to prep yourself, this is a completely different situation here. And it almost makes me want to wait on starting pitcher even more at this point, because what's the point? But at the same point, you really maybe dig a hole, all things considered, because you can't really find a lot of strikeouts later. And they start streaming and the ratios go up in flames. It's a fun game we play.
And then we sign up to play it. So I'm 10, 11. So only 12 closers are 12 stars are off the board based on my quick count. 12 starters. If I said closers of that, I meant starters. So definitely the top tier is gone, but there's still plenty of good starters left for you to take. I like, historically with Fab Leagues, I like waiting a little bit and going into that second tier of pitching and
I'm with you.
Kind of getting a bunch of them after getting a nice hitting foundation.
Like Team 2 right now just went back-to-back closers, Mason Miller and Edwin Diaz. So when the elite closers were out there.
I've seen Miller get some serious helium, at least in my current DC. He went very early. So he went in was it the 4th round for yours, I think?
Yeah, 4th round.
Pick 47. See if I can find him on here.
Like I'm a Miller fan, but at his ADP, it's like the Jazz Chisholm thing for me. Almost, I'm not going to have any shares. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I said early. So he went to Team 6 in the 2nd round of my current DC, Mason Miller. Wow. Yep, to a very good player, mind you. I won't say who it was, but he's had some serious success in the NFBC. So
yeah, well, they know what they're doing. Well, I know your 4 honeys loaded. So if someone's making a move there, they're probably in the right ballpark. Let's put it that way. Now the fun begins.
Another catcher off the board. 3 catchers off the board now for Bubba. Rushman and Diaz just went in the 5th round.
Okay, now this is where I have to decide. There goes Corey Seager. You can have him. Michael King goes to our buddy. Now this is the one I keep debating, and I did this. This is almost identical to my NFBC 50 today. I'm going to go with Jose Altuve. I know he's getting old and people can't stand him, but there's more batting average floor for me and a maybe 2020 type guy. So
yeah. So I mean, I think everyone you've drafted could match their homers and their steals this year.
And that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. So very balanced build for Bubba so far.
That's what I do around here. There goes Miller and Lawrence Butler. So like, here's where do I take one of the pitchers I like? I'm not going to though, because I'm going to just keep pounding away at my offense here. And give me the cleanup hitter for the Los Angeles Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez.
Love it.
Let's just load up on bats, which means for those keeping track at home, it's time to probably at least look at the pitching department when it comes back to me. Maybe not though. Like that's the thing with these 12s, and you mentioned it a second ago, and I kind of hinted at it, is if they're going to take all these guys super early, I'm going to take advantage of the hitting side of it, and I'll adjust with pitching later type deal. It's not always the wisest formula, but again, we're here on January 20th. A lot of times for injuries to take place on pitchers where I can maybe find something in the fab world or who knows. But I'm going to try taking these bats that I feel like I can build around pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still plenty of guys who have good upside, at least in the K department as well. So it's not like all the high upside strikeout guys are gone. They just have maybe a couple more warts than the ones that have been picked already.
Yep, exactly.
Doyle seemed to have went pretty early there. He went right behind you.
I think people are hoping for another one of those 2020s, but see his batting average. Like I love Doyle when he was like pick 180 to 200. a little bit different though.
Yeah, I was lucky to get him around pick 100. He kind of fell to me, and I had to take him at that point. But with Doyle, it's of course gives him the boost with the BABIP, but will his K rate regress to what it had been prior to the gains he made last year? It's always a tough gamble to make, at least this early in the draft. But it is a 12, and there's Fab, so if he does collapse, your 6th pick won't kill you, I don't think.
Okay, Ryan's actually saying nice stuff to me, so I got to watch out. Then he says, nice turn. Think you needed some batting average help with that early Lindor cruise. Man, I did not expect these comments coming from this direction. This is not normal. You get him off the mic, and he's just like throwing out the goods. I want to ask you a question here because Garrett Cole just went off the board in the middle of round 6. Are you pretty? And Roki Sasaki went right after him, who a guy that I know has been drafting a ton of Roki Sasaki, so that makes sense. But what's your thoughts on Cole going that far down? Or it seems like everyone's kind of believing that the fall is upon us.
I'm one of those. I have Cole around pick 100 in my ranking, so I will not be having Cole this year, I don't think.
Yeah, I passed on him in my 50s earlier today. Obviously, passed on him here. I think I
But
took.
I would say at 12 though is where I would take him.
Yeah, you have
In a 15
flexibility.
draft and hold, I want nothing to, and even when I get to the fab leagues for my 15s, I probably won't take him there. But in a 12, I can see the upside.
Question for you though, like in a 12, you're saying you take him. Would you still take him as your SP1, or would you want him more as your SP2 in a 12?
Yeah, he's that team's SP1. I see what you're saying. I would want him as not my SP1, 2 or
That's
3 probably.
Yeah, I want him to be like, okay, if he shows out like he used to, he elevates my team even more than like I need him to show out type thing. That's my concern with when that one comes to be there. There goes Brent Rooker, util off the board towards the end of round 6, and he's a guy that I love, Brent Rooker, and I think he's going to get his outfit eligibility back with the talk about the leg injury and everything. He's good to go. It's just he better get it at that ADP is all I'm saying. And I like I said, I think he will, but he better type thing.
It seems likely. I mean, he had an injury that kept him from playing the outfield, and he's young. I don't think he's a bad fielder either, so it makes sense that he would get it relatively early.
I am with you there. Now I'm like going through the pool, at least marking some guys, so I'm ready when it's my turn. And there's still so many bats I'd like to take over some pitchers right now. This is going to get real interesting real quick. Thank God this is my first draft, fab draft of the year. That's all I'm going to say. It's about to get wild.
Ooh, so team 2, who I was saying how good their average was, just took Cal Raleigh as their third hitter in the 6th round. That's very early. I like Cal, but I don't think I like him that early.
Yeah, I was looking at as I was scrolling down, I saw his name, and I'm like, I like Cal, but the way I'm building my team right now, I don't know if I could take that hit. I'm not desperate for power, so it's one of those like I don't know about that. Especially with I know we're not supposed to. People get mad when you talk names on a draft board. There's another catcher that's technically going ahead of him in ADP right now, an older fella that brings you more batting average and decent power too. And that's not Wilson Contreras. It just went a different catcher is what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I am surprised
who
that
is still on the board.
Yeah, that's interesting because he's going to get full plate appearances as much as you can for a catcher because the way he's used by his team. So interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised these two actually went over him. Is what I'm trying. Is like what we're both hinting at on that one. Because if by some grace of God he fell to me, I would take him. I don't think there's a chance he falls to me, but that'd be pretty awesome. There goes Ryan Walker to end round 6, closer for the Gigantes. I guess that shows you, Ben, that we're hitting the cliff on closers right now on the first round of them before we get to that, next pocket of Irsig and company.
Yeah, I was actually just updating my own rankings for the Tanner Scott signing, and I was comparing him to Munoz and somebody else who I don't think's been picked yet, but some people could probably assume who I'm talking about because he doesn't get the most or as many saves as we've been hoping he does, and Perez finally went off the board to the team that took Raleigh, so they went.
There you go.
2 of their first 4 hitters are catchers, so that's one way to do it.
Vogel's a good player. He's in Barf, so I'll see him in a couple weeks up there. Good long-time NFBC player, so he's got a strategy in play right now.
I was going to say, I think he had a plan right there, and he was able to execute it.
And sorry, I know I said his name, but it is what it is, folks. You signed up to do this league.
And he has 2 closers and 2 catchers in his first 7 rounds.
So now he's going to pepper everything else because he's pretty much locked those in and doesn't have to worry about them for most of the draft. Felix Bautista just went there with the 3rd pick of round 7. Talk about how the mighty have fallen. I remember early in draft season, people were like, oh, he's back, he's healthy, and they still had him kind of elevated high in ADP. That has changed a ton in drafts, not just in this draft, but I've noticed it in my other drafts. I don't know about you per se, but I think people now are more in the let's see what Felix actually has situation.
Right. I mean, but if anything, I would imagine that a OC is where some of the caution would kind of be tossed aside. But I'm sure a lot of people in the inner draft are doing DCs as well, so they're probably having that similar mindset right now still. It really does take a switch to get flipped when you go from DCs to fab leagues, which is always challenging. I like having a little break in between the two so I can adjust instead of just going right into my fab drafts.
Yep, it's a totally different world. That's why I was hoping to do things a little differently, but it's fun. There goes Marcelo Zuna, another utility off the board, which can he do it for another year, which I kind of think he can at that production level. So that could be a really nice pick there later on for a basically 4-category stud in that regard.
Yeah, I haven't taken Ozuna yet. He's kind of going in my pitcher range. where I've been attacking either a closer or one of my early starters. But I think now also with him, he's always been someone who's like an every other year kind of player, but he's had 2 great years in a row now, Ozuna, and hopefully he can keep that rolling for a 3rd straight year. And I think I said at one point too, the Braves were so down and he still has such a great year. So if everyone can hit around him finally, he could beat this where he went in this draft in the 7th round easily.
Yeah, would be quite the boost, to say the least. Yeah, I got some fun decisions to make here. I got a player I want that I don't think is going to make it back to me, so we might start leaving the ADP here in a minute. Let's just put it that way. I really don't want to take a pitcher yet, but I feel like I need to get at least one kind of stable arm here. There goes Shodas. There's one stable arm I was going to take is gone, so that makes that decision slightly easier for me. So I think I'm about to break ADP here, and then maybe go back to a pitcher. Maybe I'll get a second closer. Just wrap that up real quick. That's an option as well. So we'll see what our good buddy from the Discord does here to try to snipe me. And then we'll go from – and then I like this. Now I think I'm going 2 more bats, actually, the more I look at it. See how much I regret this at the end of the draft, but we might go 2 more bats here and really lock up some offense.
Then you have your own yellow brick road afterwards.
It'll be a long yellow brick road coming up here, yes, but
I'm okay with a good one.
Spencer Schwellenbach, that is a good one. All right, we're going back to the outfield with the dude I absolutely love. Just keep your oblique healthy, please. Say it, Suzuki. Keep your oblique healthy. That's all I ask. Big Seiya fan. For those that are new, now you know, but always been a big Seiya Suzuki fan. And then we'll see if I get sniped here on these 2 picks. Otherwise, we're leaving the ADP board on this next one. This could be.
Are you actually looking at OC ADP? Or are you just looking in the room?
No, I looked at OC ADP. There's 3 January drafts that are completed. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at those.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so I know better than that.
I figured you did. I just wanted another thing to make sure you know, because you could easily have the wrong thing in there. Like my sheet has DCs in it right now, but yeah. So I guess O'Neal Cruz is your middle infielder. It looks like right now.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I can keep him in outfield if I have to, but there's a good chance he'll be going to middle infield. Maybe I'll just put him there for my own sanity, so I don't really screw this up here. We'll move him around for a minute.
And Robert Suarez went to close out the 7th round.
And then we'll see where this next pick goes and see if I can go jump ADP. Because it will be a new min. Or I always screw up the terminology, max and min. Yes,
it would be a min for you.
It would be a min, barring whatever slow drafts are going on right now. So we'll see what the first pick of round 8 holds. And then pick 86 will be a new min by a handful of picks.
Yeah, looking around, you're on an island with your roster build. Only one other team has
all the pitchers.
Yep.
All right. Yep. We're breaking out of the realm here. Where did he go? There he is. We're taking a chance. The more we've talked about him, especially in our debate show, I'm very interested in Junior Caminero. So
nice. I love it.
That is happening. He would not make it back to me. So that is happening right there.
So that is pick 86, right?
Yeah. And going into this draft for just the 3 January drafts, Caminero's ADP was 101 and min of 98. So I popped it by 12. But again, would not have made it back to me. And
Ryan
there goes Ryan.
Throwing a nice jab. He's enjoying your wins and K's cushion that you built up so far.
Yep. Got my saves though. So that's why we'll see what happens. This could be the most foolish strategy in the world, but won't be the last one I do. And for those doing CLQs, you're welcome. So we'll see how that plays out.
I mean, hopefully, once you do go on your yellow brick road, I'm sure some of the guys that you will take are bound to beat their ADP. It kind of is just inevitable throughout the draft, you know.
So if I get lucky, is what you're saying.
I think you need a lot of luck on this one, Bubba.
You mean you wouldn't do this strategy?
I don't know. Go look for your rabbit's foot or whatever charm you may have laying around.
Yeah. It is it's probably a very dumb strategy. Not gonna say it's not, but
I mean, off the top of my head, I would not do this. But if I had, like I do with my main events, if I had sat down and planned out ahead of time, there's a chance I would do it. But I mean, when I do my own 12 teams, like when I would do the Yahoo ones that are 12 teams, I would definitely lean hitting heavy to start. So
yeah. So We'll see.
You're like
And this,
falling over now, though. You're not leaning anymore. You're on the
no,
ground.
I'm laying down on top of it, and I'm a big guy, so that's not a place people want to be. It's not comfortable for many people.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh wow,
yeah, so,
Glasnow went out early. I mean, that is a 12-team pick, though.
nah, it's fine. There goes Framber. I was looking at Framber. Like if Shota was still there, I probably would have taken Shota over Seiya. I wanted Caminero for sure. That was the guy I was targeting. I wanted Caminero, especially with that third base position. I'll take his upside. And like we talked about it, it's like if he actually hits his potential, which is a big if, being a young player, he's a top 3-round pick next year, I think. So I want to take that gamble right there and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up projections and see. I think it was you saying it. How he compares to the other third baseman.
Yeah, when you look
Caminero.
at if you pull up Brian's eighth round Framber as well. We got Fish in the chat and Ryan talking about Framber. That is quite the price tag there, to say the least.
Well, it's only because Bubba punted pitching. So
yeah, I helped cause this dilemma or value. But yeah, if you look at Caminero's projection, it's almost identical to Machado, Riley, and Devers, and he's going
he's
60 picks later.
4 fewer runs, 1 fewer home run, 6 fewer RBI for Caminero. From Machado, only 2 fewer steals and 6 points of batting average. So he's as close to Manny as you can find.
Yep. So I'll think about that, and yeah, we'll see how I can fix the pitching problem here without going overboard now and forgetting I still need more bats to fill out a roster. That's the key, is not completely forgetting about the team.
You have to know when to jump back in.
Yeah. So, and then I say this now, and then I'll probably see somebody else I want to take on the way back because there's still so many good hitters out here, which happens when everyone takes pitching early. So I almost need to just turn off my roster options here to put pitchers only on so I can't see them anymore. Might be the best move I can make coming up here.
Control himself.
Well, at the same time, it's putting myself in this quote unquote hole. I almost have to not be aggressive on a second closer at this point and go back to because you need to get those starting numbers. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think at this point, since you do have a solid closer base, you would want to maybe draft a closer 3 early. More early than you would typically do that.
Make sure I get that category since my starting pitching categories might be in trouble.
Well, I think it makes sense the way on your RP. Yes, something's going to be in trouble here. I think that's certain.
Yes, there's definitely trouble in this one. Definitely
Trouble's a brewing.
Yes.
Nothing that can't be fixed, though. Just remember that.
Yeah, I just got to know how to use Fab. That's always my worst part of my game. Drafting, I could build a team.
What is it? I think the date is. I'm gonna figure out the date. March 23rd will be very important for you. That's.
I'll be the very mean. I'll be the mean guy on Twitter every time a pitcher gets hurt in spring training. I'll just be like,
yeah,
I'll be that guy.
Geez.
Problem is I have 7 other drafts at least, so I'll have at least shares of all those guys getting hurt, so it won't matter.
Yeah.
But that's the problem when you do more than just one team. I'm gonna have shares of somebody somewhere. It's just inevitable with my degeneracy. So we are heading into round 9 already. This is cruising. We're almost a third of the way done, and we are 33 minutes into the draft. That is pretty impressive. I love the speed, everybody. Keep it up.
So right. Bubba's going to go his first catcher here. He's going to put off pitching once more.
Oh, dude, I'm not kidding. I keep looking at guys. I'm like, geez Louise. Because I was looking at my roster. It's like, okay, I got in theory, a very good hitting floor. Do I need to be as aggressive on catcher? You don't want to punt catcher, but at the same time, do I have to give the stud catchers anymore? Those kind of questions start coming into play.
I mean, you probably need an average of 60 runs, 60 RBI.
So you still need catchers.
16 homers and 12 steals per player now at this rate, the way you've gone after hitting.
Yeah. So you still need something.
You have a good chunk out of that hitting total that you're looking to hit.
And
if it goes Max Fried, would you have taken Max Fried as your SP1?
No. No, I would not. But I have a guy I do have circled here, which probably won't make it back. Would be pretty sweet if I get a 9th round version of him. I'm gonna go look at his ADP right now just for fun. It's coming up. Yeah, we're getting close to that number. So that'd be cool if that takes place. But yeah, I can make a 2-pitcher tap right here and not hate where I'm sitting. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's enough out here that I won't be drawing dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's still good pitchers left. It's just that they're not
the
the ace
elites.
levels that typically make you warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. And then the problem also turns into if I skip out, if I go pitcher right now, which I kind of have to, the catcher pool is going to dry up quickly. At least the catchers I like are going to dry up quickly. And more decisions have to get made in those scenarios. But I'm okay. Not sweating it here. We're good. Because I'm optimistic on some guys that have on some lower ADPs. I have noticed that so far than other people are. So,
all right. So here's a question for you, not to make you second guess your pick, but so you took Seiya at the end of the 7th round, and then Brian Reynolds just went at the beginning of the 9th round. That's a big gap for, I think, kind of similar players. So you could argue whether it's a good pick for team 2 or I don't necessarily. I mean, it's 7th round. Suzuki for 15 is phenomenal. It's in the you're in the 80s, so it's not too much of a reach. I think it's more of a Reynolds bargain than anything else.
It's a great pick on Reynolds, and I think we're going to see like Reynolds is one of those guys. I think you'll see that more often than other players. Like that type of player will just fall in some of these overall contests because they're phenomenal floors, but I don't think we believe in a ceiling.
He's a boring 12-teamer too. I think in a main event, he still kind of holds that value that you have with him in like a draft and hold.
In a main event or 15, he's awesome. Like really, really good. In a 12, he's not just another guy, but he's closer to another guy than an awesome pick. And I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to give you 35 homers, and there's no upside. You just know what you're going to get with him. So,
like a healthy Seiya, and again, we've never seen that, so I'm just guessing. Feels a higher ceiling than Reynolds. That's how I'd separate the two. Could be just talking out of my rear end on that one, but that would be my separating point.
I think we'll also say he's been injured, so he's never been able to reach his potential.
Don't snipe me right here. I swear to God.
He's getting kicked out of the Discord if it happens.
Yeah, you're gone. Executive decision will be made.
All access is being revoked.
Yes, those are getting signed today, so I will throw one on the table. Oh, don't do it, buddy. I know he's looking for it too. You don't do it.
He's probably looking for a closer or a catcher.
That'd be great. Look at either one of those. Yes, thank you, my friend. Boom, I'll take this.
Ryan goes around losing Patreon subs for snipes.
Yep, give me Freddie Peralta in round 9 all day long.
There's strikeouts right there.
Yep, if I wait on pitching, I will take that every second of the day. So
I mean, considering your build, that's probably best case scenario that you got him.
Yep, that's what I was targeting at the beginning of the round. I'm like, okay, please fall, please fall, please fall. And he did. And now it comes down to a couple other guys I like a lot right here. I could double tap, and we're going to be back in business.
I doubt there's going to be a lot of pitchers taking right here.
No, I'm good with the turn for Strider. Wasn't going to go Strider. Anyway. Wasn't going. I can't take that risk right now. I need guys starting day one.
You're saying you don't need a Swiss cheese floor with your starters?
So I was debating between this guy and someone else. We're going to go this guy. I'm going to go Hunter Brown. So Freddie Peralta, Hunter Brown, I'll take that turn and kind of get me back in the reality.
Okay.
When the next guy goes, I'll ask your opinion on who you would have thought should have gone, but I'll take my chances there, kind of getting back in the SP world.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Yeah, because let's see. I'm going to put these into the old draft tracker here. Another part about being on the end makes it easy. Just type 2 in and go. And like I'm almost up to my per player target on strikeouts already. That's including a closer on my 3 guys. So we're back. We're back, baby.
Bubba's back in business.
We are back. All right. Who just went there? I got to actually stare at the board because it's too small. Shane O'Mac, Tanner Scott, Tristan Casas. Yeah, none of these guys are on my radar, so this is really good. Yeah, I'm starting to feel better already. I know I shouldn't, but if I can somehow double tap or at least get one more good starter on the next go around, I'm feeling really good about life.
I mean, you could have gotten sniped horribly, so at least that didn't happen. So it's so far a win. So
far, so good. Plenty of time for me to screw it up, but so far, so good. Let's put it that way.
I almost want to open up a new version of my tracker and see how your team looks, but I'll with that.
I'll share it with the Patreon later. I'll screenshot it and and I'll do a write up on my thoughts on how crazy this turned out when all things are said and done, because this still could go horribly wrong. Because one thing which is not in my wheelhouse is catchers disappearing. So you know how I feel about that.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's getting a little slim with the catches that you feel comfortable with.
The ones I like, yeah. So we're about to go off the again though with the 12. Just get one I really like. I can play the game with the rest type thing.
Yeah, the one who just went was Langoliers, who I've been a big fan of so far in my
Shea
drafts.
Langoliers. If you wait on catching, and he paired him up with Adley. That's a nice little pairing, honestly. Adley's average, a little bit of pop with Shea's power. That's a good 1-2 punch at catcher right there. It's a great pairing. That hits your targets. Oh, there's the guy. Grayson Rodriguez just went. So I was debating between Hunter Brown and Grayson Rodriguez. Where do you sit on that one?
I believe I would go Grayson.
Okay. I was very torn on that. Just the way Grayson finished his year kind of left me somewhat skeptical, but maybe I shouldn't be.
The fact that he did not return is concerning. They were talking about having him in the bullpen too. But it was a muscle thing, not a structural thing. So that makes me a little more okay with it, I guess. Or I'm not as concerned about taking Grayson because of that. It was his lat, so it's not like it's like a forearm or anything like that. So the big thing for me, they had pretty similar K percentages, Grayson and Hunter Brown, but Grayson almost had he had over a 3% better swing strike rate. I'm viewing Hunter Brown kind of like Mitch Keller, so big K numbers, but the swing strike rate doesn't really support it. So I think he's getting overdrafted. I don't want to say
that. No, you could have stopped at that. I didn't need the explanation at that point.
I mean, he did have a great run. He's on the Astros, so I get it. But yeah, I haven't. I think Hunter Brown's getting overdrafted.
Once I heard Mitch Keller, I was about to dock you out of the chat here. I'm kidding. You're supposed to make fun of me. This is good.
Hopefully, I heard that one. That was just my honesty.
No, that's what you need to be, because that's good. Yeah. And the thing is, Keller was very serviceable at one point, maybe not as an SP2 on a 12-team league, but I agree with the Hunter Brown. Like, he had that really good run, but also we can't just ignore the run he had before that. Yeah. So, which Hunter Brown are we going to get? Both on very good teams, which helps, obviously.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of Brown last year going into drafts.
Well, the third option I was looking at just went in Sonny Gray. That's the boring pick. Okay. But so I was kind of trying to shoot for the upside with either Grayson or Hunter in those two. But again, this is what happens when you wait on starting pitching. You start taking darts and shots here.
I mean, Brown should be safe, though. I don't think he's going to be bad by any means.
Yeah.
It's just a little concerning thing that I saw with his profile where I was like, are the strikeouts going to be for real? One of those things,
Well, we shall see. You're not wrong, because that's why I don't have a ton of shares of Brown. I'm interested in him, but I'm hoping for give me 2/3 what we saw last year. I'll be okay with that. Just don't completely trunk slam, basically.
Yeah, I know you didn't want to hear me say that your SP2 is Mitch Keller, but that's just the profile vibes that I get when I looked at Hunter Brown. That's just why.
Corbin Young would be pumped with that, so we're okay. We're okay there. Now I got to start thinking who my next guy is going to be, because it's getting in some murky waters of some pitchers we have not talked highly of at times. Sometimes we do, but not at all times. But if I want some, this is interesting. If I want to shoot for the moon, that could be fun. Just a pitcher with a lot of volatility is the best way I'll say that.
Do you still have your player pool set only to pitchers?
No. I took it off of that. Because I'm feeling at least a little better about things. But there's a handful of interesting stuff here.
There's a couple guys that
they
definitely are more. Okay. Well, the one is definitely more of a 15-teamer. I will say that. But I mean, his floor is something that you might want now, since you only have 2 pitchers. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, there's a couple of these veteran guys that I just have been ignoring completely, and they're still on the board too. Maybe that's more the floor you're talking about.
One's I mean, he's not that old, but he's.
I know you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I'll put a star next to his name to remind me about him. Let's put it that way.
I just grabbed him as my SP3 in my current DC, which I was kind of happy with.
Well, and it's a starting pitcher that in years past was SP1 for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I liked them a lot last year. If it's the same guy, that I think we're thinking about.
We might find out in a few picks. Either someone's
Yes.
going to take him or I'm going to take him. So we're
Yeah.
going to find out very shortly. And I know people on listening probably hate this, but it prevents a lot of people getting angry. It's not me not giving away my pick. It's more other people get mad for giving out names.
There's a good chance that someone in the draft is listening right now.
Oh, there's about 3 people I've already seen chatting in here that are in the draft. So yes.
And someone reached out to me too on Twitter, so I know that who's in your draft personally. So nice. I know what's going on.
Nice. So yeah, no, we'll see. There goes Bryce Terang. That's one of those guys I just had a lot of shares last year because he was free. Now you got to pay up, around 10, around 11 price tag. It makes a little tricky. There's a Rosarena dropping around 11. Man, how the mighty have fallen. That could be a gift if he finds anything close to what he once was.
Yeah, I did take Randy in my first draft, so I'm hoping for the bounce back.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. What round did you get him in though in your 15 roughly? You don't like.
I think he was my 10th round pick, so it was around pick 150. Good. He was 10th or 11th. So at that point, it was like kind of a no-brainer, I thought.
That's pretty good.
That team's all bounced back. It has Goldschmidt, Randy, Springer. Actually, it has Kevin Harris. It's either all bounce back or all like young players. It's like this seesaw was going back and forth between old guys and young guys as I was drafting.
All right, we're either going to take the boring floor right here. I'm going to go. There's Vinny P. Is Zach Gallen who you're talking about?
You say Zach Gallen?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of Zach Gallen this year.
I thought that's who you were talking about for some reason. Never mind then.
You want me to tell you who I was talking about?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Logan Webb. I don't think he's.
He's been drafted. He's gone.
Was he drafted? Oh yeah, I missed that. Oh, he went before Gray. Never mind.
So here we go. We're going to go with the crazy play, which I probably would never do, but in this scenario, could get me a ton of strikeouts, and I have to pray the ratios do not destroy me, and his arm stays intact.
Senga.
You get to watch him every 5th day.
No. Okay. Oh, all right. Kind of like Senga.
Yeah, I wasn't going to touch Senga. Like at least Rodon pitched last year. Rodon, he's projected for 200 Ks. He's done that like at least 190 plus quite a bit. It's more health with him than anything. So I'll take those chances going on the Yankees. Yeah, we'll roll the dice on that one. We'll
Dom wants you to pick
Zach
Gallen on the way back.
I don't hate it as my SP4, honestly. If you are a believer of projections, he projects out pretty good. His projections. 171 innings on the steamer, ERA of 3.95. He had a 3.65. He's had a 3.65 or below for 5 out of 6 seasons. Strikeouts, he's projected for like 172. He's been a high strikeout guy. He was just banged up last year is the thing. If he can bounce back this year, it's gonna be 29. Like I don't hate it. I know I'm talking myself into it now. But as to go 4 straight pitchers, but get those 4 pitchers, I could be pretty pumped with that, and I can just draft as wanted at that point.
I mean, the kind of picks you have to make at this point. So I think you're doing it right for sure.
I'm trying. Yeah, we're gonna go Zach Gallen here, and now I have a starting rotation of Peralta, Hunter Brown, Carlos Rodon, and Zach Gallen. And is it the best rotation in the world? Absolutely not. But for waiting as long as I did, I like my chances. And yeah, my projections have my ratios a bit too high, which is expected, but everything else is ready to rock and roll. So,
are you staying true with your 1.3 whip that you've been drafting lately?
It's only 1, 2, 3 right now. So yeah,
there you go.
What's up? What's up? So for waiting for that long, I'll take my chances there. That's all I'm going to say. And then they're telling me in the chat I got to address catcher. Trust me, very aware of this. Very aware.
There's Hoffman.
You have to pull some magic out on this.
Oh,
one.
We missed who went right before your Gallen pick. Do you see who went?
Yep, Matt Shaw.
Wow, 12th round Matt Shaw.
Yep, Matt Shaw, and that's the hype train, especially with the team coming out and saying basically it's his job to lose type deal, and that changes a lot of things. I think with the drafting world, I expect it to go higher. Honestly, barring some negative news, I expect it to go higher. Now I can go
he basically cut his ADP in half. That pick.
Yeah, that was I think we're going to see a lot more of that. It makes sense at a draft this early. If you really like that guy, go get him. See what happens, because I bet you if we do this same draft like the 3rd week in March, or when you're like at your main event tables in New York, it could be a little different. But
yeah, that's probably one that I would avoid. I mean, I'm fine with. I've been fine with. I don't think they've gone yet, so I'm not going to say their names. Some younger outfielders, but I know Dom loves Matt Shaw. I think he took him really early in the Gladiator.
And I like Matt Shaw, so I get it. I would have tried to have waited for the next turn, but he might not have been there. So
well, I mean, the profile is awesome. If he could be 20-30, which is what it was in the minors, close to it at a third base, that's a pretty sweet player that you could roster.
Yeah, go get your guys, as they say. Go get your guys.
It was Matt Chapman. Volpe went already.
See, I like Chapman a lot. Like Shaw might have a ceiling. I would have taken Chapman over Shaw. But
yeah, well, Chapman's going to play and going to perform,
day.
so it's depending if you want a little upside or.
Well, here's a fun question. I know he's still on the board, so if people are mad, sorry. Jared Jones is who I was looking at with my last pick instead of Gallon also, but I'll take the Gallon consistency, I guess. Jones just went. That's why I said that. But this player has not gone, but I don't care. Would you rather go Eugenio Suarez or Matt Shaw?
Are you talking about what their ADP has been or vacuum or?
Vacuum, just in a vacuum.
Oh, man. I don't really want either. I mean, the Shaw profile is so much more appealing than what Suarez can do. I guess out of spite, I will say Shaw because I hate Eugenio Suarez now.
There you go. So I was just curious because when I'm going down the board, you're coming up here, like Suarez is one of the few third basemen left now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could always fill your first base spot with. I mean, you're with the first baseman anyway.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm not talking about for me. I was talking about in general. Someone needs a third baseman.
Oh.
I was not going there. I already have the elite third baseman in Junior Caminero. So when you skip pitching, you get these kind of players. That's how it works. Yeah, but now I'm scrolling through and still tons of bats that are out there. So that's a beautiful thing. This game we play.
I mean, he's really your only risky pick in terms of hitting, at least.
Yeah,
pitching strategy is risky, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, because I do have Mitch Keller after all, so it's a little risky in the pitching department.
It's like the Scooby Doo thing. They took off Hunter Brown's face, and it's Mitch Keller. That's okay, what's going on here.
Anybody that can do Photoshops and stuff, there you go. Give me that. I'll use that at some point in time.
Come on, Discord or someone who's listening. Yeah, Ryan, do that.
Yeah, I know I can't do that stuff, but if anybody can, that would be outstanding, and I thank you now.
I'm going to repeat it. It's Hunter Brown's face and Mitch Keller's beneath the mask.
The Scooby-Doo meme. Make it happen, folks. Would appreciate it. All right, so now I got to start focusing on apparently catchers because everyone swears there's still plenty of catchers out there, guys. Come on.
I mean, you could. There's two in this situation. I'm not gonna say who they are, obviously, but there's a couple that aren't really due to get picked yet that I think would be a pretty sweet double tap.
There's a couple I like for sure. If I double tapped them and first waiting this long, I'd be over the moon to get. There's other things I'm concerned about, but again, at 12, I could probably like my first base. That's drying up very quickly, but it's a 12, so there's actually some first base I don't hate. I'll be okay there. There's plenty of corner infield stuff, so yeah, we could double tap catchers right here and have a field day. Jason
Dominguez is very intriguing to me in a 12-teamer.
I was looking at him. I figured he would not make it back to me, so that's a good pick there. I starred him after I got back to every player page, not just pitchers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that makes a ton of sense for sure.
I think he's like the perfect OC flyer to take because he could end up hitting leadoff for the Yankees and hit 25 homers, steal 20 bases, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Oh gosh, they're talking about Noah Schultz in the chat here about when do you want to pick him, how much do you want to fab him, like all this stuff.
Dom's already inflating prices, and it's January 20th.
Well, because Uncle Ted's inflating players in general. So that's what they're doing. They're going back and forth in their discussions. It's great.
Gialli's in there too. This is. I wish I could read the chat a little bit more. This is good stuff.
Bo Bichette finally went off the board there to Team 5. I was wondering when he would go. We've had some good discussions on him lately based on ADP. Going, okay, I can understand it type stuff. And there's Xavier Edwards. If you like batting average and speed, that's your dude. So that's more of a team build play. I think we talked about him on a recent show, Ben. But
yeah, I'm sure we covered.
I don't have much of him right now. That's the only downside. But
this feels late for Bregman.
Yeah, very late. He's been falling a ton. I think people, I don't know if they're just concerned on where he's going to land. He's going to sign. He's going to start. If he doesn't, I'd be way shocked, like beyond shocked.
Yeah.
2 picks to catcher Thunderdome. There goes Tyler Stevenson. You stink. Team 9.
So
not a fan.
I was going to say, I think Robbie Ray would have been a good.
There goes a Hoppy.
2 double catchers.
Both
He's
of
gonna
you.
get that the Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon gone. God dang.
I was gonna say Robbie Ray would have been good for you. I think. Okay, there's one of the guys I was thinking of for you to double tap eventually. But I mean,
well, they took the guys I wanted ahead. I was gonna take those 2 other guys.
I think that was Bubba's first tilt pick.
Yeah, you guys got me. I guess that's what I get for waiting this long. But yeah, we're just gonna double tap this whole thing real quick and be done with this position. I probably shouldn't. There's
so 13 times 12 is 156.
There's some late guys I can wait on.
I think you can wait.
Yeah, the more I look at it, I was almost rage picked. I almost rage picked right there. We're gonna walk away, step away from the situation, and reassess.
I think if Ryan was here, he'd be fueling the.
Oh, he'd be making me pick somebody. There's no doubt about that. He would not shut up about it, which is why you're here and he's not. No, I'm just kidding. Now my question.
Is, double third base for Team 12. Shaw, 12th round, and now Alcom.
Here's where I might get real goofy and get my starting pitching back over the moon right here.
Don't forget you need another closer eventually too.
Yeah, and there's not many of them I like right now. It's bad, like real bad. Like I'm not going to pick Alexis Diaz. I don't care how bad I need a closer. That is not.
Oh yeah, he's someone I want. I'm not going to draft at all. I don't think.
Yeah, like I'll pass and I'll speculate the shit out of stuff later. Okay, I'm gonna go here and hope he signs somewhere nice. Jack Flaherty.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I feel way better about my starting pitch. I might have overdone it now, but I think we're good on this because the relief pitching core is horrible right now. That's where I need
to take some flyers for sure if you're going to take one right now.
Yeah, like go take some of these unsigned ones potentially, or do you believe in some bounce backs, that kind of deal? Because otherwise, it's pretty rough in the closing streets at the moment. So that's going to be one where I'm going to have to pull some rabbits out of my rear end, basically.
I think it's wise. I think you should go with drafting at least 3. And there's another catcher, JTR.
Well, also, I'm going to now that I waited so long, for sure.
So this is kind of a statement from Bubba. He took Austin Wells over JT Real Muto.
Oh, yeah. I've been anti-JT. Maybe to my own detriment, but it is the way it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would rather draft Wells than JTR. I think I have Real Muto ranked ahead of Wells just in terms of that. But in terms of actually drafting them, yeah, I'd rather have Wells than JTR based on where they're going.
Yep, I'll take the ceiling play and see where things go. That's the best way I could say it. No, that's not out yet. So I'm just trying to see stuff in my own brain right now for closers.
I wish I could move this onto the live chat, but Dom's most recent message.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Does anybody think Livy Dunn might leave Skeens for Noah Schultz? No, just me. Okay.
That's a very important question.
Dom's all in because he's doing the Skeens versus Schultz thing in the chat. It's pretty entertaining, to say the least. I'm trying to find some closers right about now because it is. Dude,
so you just went one of the ones you didn't want though. I don't know if I can draft Bednar either.
That was another guy.
He was a disaster.
Him and there's one other guy I'm still looking at. Like I don't think I could do. Like at least Bednar's got the role for now. This other guy I don't even think has the role for now, which makes it really tricky to trust. Yeah, it's not good. Not good.
I mean, there's a free agent available to you probably that you could take.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm circling right now and crossing my fingers.
I did take that free agent myself in my current DC, so it's
not a great place to be right now, but that's the world I've put myself in.
Yeah, I actually went with the free agent over Tanner Scott, and at first I was a little hesitant, but then once I saw people talking about how they think it's to be like a strict timeshare, I'm like, okay, maybe I made the right pick by going with the other guy instead of Tanner Scott.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. I'll feel better once the signing's done, though.
That's the kicker. Like they need to actually put pen to paper, and we'll have a much clearer idea of what the heck is going on. Heck, maybe I go get your favorite guy that we talked about one night via text. Mm-hmm. You'll know if I do take him. Okay, now that I'm going through things, there's about 7 or 8 guys I can go take chances at. I feel a little better right now. Not great. but a little better.
There's one guy who has been going kind of late. He fell a lot in my current GC that I took in my first draft as a closer, and I'm feeling better that he's going to have the role as more names get taken off the free agency board.
Not curious who that is. I'm real curious about that, but you don't have to tell me. It's okay.
I won't. He's probably going to be on the board for a while still.
Well, that's good.
Nico went kind of early, but I mean, I guess that's
around 13. You can take the gamble here probably. Mm-hmm. But because his injury, there's not really anything clear and concise with right now, which is not ideal, obviously. So
he was actually just on LB Network, and he said that it was last night, and he actually said he doesn't have a timetable.
That's even worse if he's saying that.
Yeah. I forget who was asking the question, but I dropped what I was doing to listen for the answer because I've been out on Nico the entire time so far during drafts, and was not what I wanted to hear. But at least I don't have him yet, so I guess it's been a good move on my part.
Yeah, that's definitely less than ideal. If I remember early on in some underdogs, I was taking him thinking he'd be back pretty early, but now I've stopped taking him lately, and now I'm really glad I stopped taking him lately because, man, if he doesn't even know when he's coming back, that does not feel great by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty quick answer too. It's not like he hemmed and hawed about it. He basically just said, don't know.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. I'm really hoping I'm a little more optimistic about the save situation all of a sudden. We'll see if it pans out. You might think I'm crazy for my optimism here, but there are options which make me feel better because a second ago I was scrolling around thinking there is no options. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting close to that point in the ADP where they start to get picked. So, you're going to have to make a change. Oh, you're Brandon PFAADT.
Hey, Fott. Yeah, no, I love me some Brandon Fott. Everybody knows that because you know how to spell the name, everybody. Come on. Yeah, no, he's a good one. If I have a feeling if I would have waited and not taken as many pitchers, he would have somehow found his way to me last time around. So I'm just glad that didn't come down to that because I prefer the angle I took this time instead.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of torn here because there are some good picks coming up. But I don't need starting pitching really. Like you could always use starting pitching. Don't get me wrong, but I think I could pass on that for a little while here.
I mean, you have 5 now.
Yeah, I think we're good now. Get back to the bats with at least 1, if not 2 picks. Maybe go a relief pitcher with 1. We'll kind of play that out and see where all that goes. But there's wiggle room right now. There goes Ben Joyce to team 5. That was one guy I was looking at, not the top of my list. I was looking at, but one guy I was looking at.
I've been cool with taking Joyce.
Yeah.
Not just because of his name either.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the Ben part? No. But yeah, no, I was intrigued by that one for sure. Hopefully the next guy falls to me. I got 2, 4, 5 more picks. I'll probably get, Mr. Discord. Enjoy your time while you're there, buddy. So you're gonna snipe me. I can already see it coming. But
let's see. He has 2 closers, so might be good.
Doesn't stop him. We've been in a lot of drafts together. He's in a lot of drafts. He's like our other buddy from Canada who's in a lot of drafts. Who's in this draft. That's why Waxman, who's in this draft. I didn't say what position he's drafting, but he's in this draft, and everyone knows that. So Churchill and Waxman seem to be in almost every draft I notice, which is impressive to be able to do that. It's amazing. Fish is in here as well.
Yeah, he's in one of my drafts. Fish. Fish is which Fish?
John.
Yeah. I think there's a different John Fish in here. Is that actually John Fish? I can't tell.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat. He's not in the draft, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw Fish say that he's not doing any fab leagues, or I heard him say that or something like that.
Yeah, I think he said that last year, and he was in the CLQ by the time it was over. So,
come on.
We'll see. There goes Lane Thomas, a guy I just cannot figure out for the life of me. There goes Goldie. That's a good pick because I need first base. I was looking at him, but in a 12, there's other first base options I was willing to wait on. But I like that Goldie pick quite a bit.
He's been going up a lot in the 4 honeys that I've been doing.
I like him a lot more in DCs where you need depth at the position, and also there goes Michael Toglia.
Oh God, Dom's killing me.
But yeah, Goldie's good in 15s and in DCs. I think just a lot more there.
I wouldn't take
I'm
Toglia with your teams.
no.
Your average is okay. Yeah, well, Wells kind of brings the average back down a little bit.
Our Discord boy took my favorite shortstop, who I was not taking, thank God. But
You could have made it work, though. You could have moved O'Neill to the outfield.
where did my guy go? There he is. This might
Mason
be
Wynn went
insane.
for everyone who wasn't sure.
This
Mason
might be
Wynn just
insane, but we're getting a second closer.
Trust the elbow?
I'm going to. Philly signed him. I'm going to trust it.
Well, that's why I take a third closer eventually, just to
Yeah.
make sure.
I was already going to. That's why I took him. But that's a new min. His min was 188. Now it's 179. So I've set 2 mins in this draft with Jordan Romano.
And then Porter Hodge went right
I'd rather have
afterwards.
Romano than Hodge, personally.
Then someone just went, and now it's your turn again. But I'm kind of really interested in Arrighetti now after seeing some stuff, how he ended the year. I don't have him yet, but I feel like I have to jump his ADP to get him.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I'm going to go with my guy here. I might be really wrong on this, but give me let me clarify something real quick. Yeah, give me Elliot Ramos. I know I'm probably more of a fan than others, but I'll take my chances there.
Bubba's first giant of the draft, I believe. Nice.
Not that many fantasy relevant giants, so that'll happen.
Yeah, you got one.
We got to have one. So yeah, now we're creeping up. Ratios are still issues, but only a 1-2-3 whip still. We're still sitting pretty there.
You can't trust the steamer whip; they're all high.
I know. So I'm doing pretty good. But
yeah, like for mine, I've drafted Wheeler, Webb, King. Only one with a whip below 1-2 is Wheeler of those three. Webb's usually a pretty good whip guy, but I don't know. It's all like worst case scenarios. It feels like I never really trust the steamer. At least remember, like we did that review, the volume stats have been pretty good for steamer. It's just I'm never sure about the ERA and the whip that they put out there.
And there goes Adelise. I was looking at Adelise instead, but
he really dropped.
Yeah, I was looking at him instead of Ramos. Maybe I should have. That's going to bite me for a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like in a DC, I'd rather have waited. I would have passed on Adelise to take Ramos, but since it is an OC, if Garcia goes back to being 80% of what he was, that could be a pretty good value pick.
That's why I'm mad at myself for that. I should have taken the upside at that point with the kind of floor I've put together on that team. Should have went.
What's the problem though? Because you've been drafting draft and holds, and now you're drafting a fab league where the mindset's got to shift a little bit.
Yep, not always the most ideal situation right now, but we're moving right along. Not going to let it set us back. We're good.
He could just be at the end, Garcia, and he's going to just be worse than last year, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a great team to hit with too. Unlike Elliott, Elliott is pretty limited with his team context, where Adelise has a softball team with him. They're going to put up points like no one's business, or runs like no one's business. So that's pretty sweet as well. So I'll wait and see on that one. See how that pans out. There goes Jerickson. Doesn't have a home profile, but man, if he gets a starting gig, that could be a good pick too. I don't expect him to be as good as he was last year, but I still expect him to be pretty serviceable, to say it nicely.
So you probably haven't noticed, but I'm looking now. So Team 6 has gone pretty all or nothing with a lot of their picks. They have Schwarber, Langoliers, Terang, Chapman, Xavier Edwards. A lot of high power, debatable average, and then a lot of no power, high steals plays.
No, that's one way to go about it. And he's one of the guys that messaged me the second he signed up. He's a friend of the Patreon. Good dude. So happy for him to get in here and shoot a shot, see where it goes. That's what it's all about.
Only DCs.
Yeah, see, everybody, there's evidence. John Fish, only DCs this year.
Okay, I can see it's him now when it's expanded like that. And that small thumbnail, I can tell it's him, actually. Is there another John Fish?
Yeah, that's him. And there goes Taylor Ward. I was looking at him also when I did the Elliott pick. It was with Elliott, Taylor Ward, and Garcia, and I'm already kind of regretting the Elliott pick. So we'll see how that pans out as the season goes along.
In my DC brain, I would have gone Ward over Elliott, I guess.
Yeah.
But
tricky situation for me. That's all I'm going to say.
You did watch Elliott firsthand, and so
I've seen him hit a home run in front of me.
Yeah,
has a lot to do with it. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll see how that pans out, and we're getting close to doing some. I don't want to talk out loud anymore on that question, But yeah, looking at my first base options, look like I can wait a while now and just shoot my shot later on because it's pretty bad.
They're probably all the same player, roughly.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm just like you. Those are gonna wait for a bit and start filling up the roster elsewhere at this point. Good Lord, Bubba. This is where, like, again, I'm gonna start saying things out loud. Screw it, we're packs pick 200 almost. Like Miguel Garcia, is he worth it in a 12 compared to a 15? These are the questions going through my head at this point in the draft. We got Slick Willie down there. I don't need the flexibility as much. It still helps. Don't get me wrong, but like that doesn't seem like a 12-team play. It seems more like a 15 potentially. Now there is another guy that has an interesting 12-team appeal if he figures things out. I'm going to put a star next to his name. But yeah, this is where we're getting past pick 200, and you got to start, I guess, shooting the moon a little more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Woodruff, that's a pretty big, risky pick.
Big shoot the moon right there.
Kikuchi fell a lot. He goes a lot earlier, it feels like.
Yeah, I liked him there. That was interesting pick. My favorite guy, Luis Arraez, still sitting on the board. That's funny to watch. Doesn't break my heart. Doesn't surprise me.
He's probably the last guy I'd want to draft in a OC.
Yeah, just talk about lack of upside right there. Like if he ever hits 20 home runs in a season, I'm going to eat so much crow, but I'll point to the other 15 seasons where he did absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that one is. But where are we going here? Zach Geloff off the board. Here's a ceiling play. I can get behind that. If you could ever hit 240, that is going to be an amazing play. I don't need middle infield, which makes me feel really good right now looking at that player pool.
So I'm trying to do the math in my head.
So you can always go depth pieces, but don't have to type thing. I might wrap up my outfield pretty soon.
I mean, you could call the day already because you have Cruz, but I feel like you'd rather take another outfielder versus another shortstop.
Yeah, unless like I gamble on Zach Neto, which
he'd be like the perfect gamble play.
Sit him on the bench. That is kind of tempting, actually. Sit him on the bench for a bit until he gets healthy and then slide him in there. That is enticing. Not sure man, projections still have him going 2020, even though we have no clue about his injury. Yeah,
well, how updated are the projections that you have?
I went straight to Fangraphs.
Okay, so you got them. Yeah.
So whatever they got right now is as updated as I'm looking at. And
they're saying 136 games.
I just don't see how. I think it's a month off, I guess.
Yeah, roughly.
Then it's a shoulder injury. How well does the power come back? Yada yada yada, stuff like that. Makes you wonder a little bit.
So Steamer has him. Well, the Fangraphs depth charts has him for the same number of homers Neto as hit last year and almost 20 fewer games. That's asking a lot. Steamer has him for 2 fewer and 20 fewer games, and then Oopsie, everyone's favorite new projection system, has him for 3 fewer and 20 fewer games. So not a big decline in the power numbers.
Am I looking at batting average? I'm projected for a 258 average, and you need 257. And I'm looking at a guy that does not hit for average. Sweet. That's not what we want. Well, actually, this guy hits for average, though. We'll go here first. I'm going to wrap up my catching with Kyber Ruiz.
He was going to be I was going to say you should have gone Wells Ruiz, and you sure did. So nice work.
I almost went right away, and I looked at his ADP. I'm like, I'm going to play a gamble. I'm going to risk it here and see how far we can go. Now, the next guy I'm looking at doesn't hit for average, so we're going to see how this goes. But
sticking with hitting?
I think so. I'm looking at pitchers. Well, wait a minute. Let's look at this real quick. I might go get closer number 3.
All right.
I might go do that right now, actually. Take a gamble. We might take a gamble right here. Yes, Jack Waxman. Ruiz was a very fun pick. All right, so Alec Burleson just went. Yeah, if Strange doesn't take the closer I'm looking at, I'm going to go closer right here. Free agent closer, by the way.
Yes. Wow, he really fell.
Yes, he did.
And he's still there. Whew.
Yes, he is. Are you talking Kenley?
Yep, that's who I took in my DC.
Yep.
That's going
So
right
that's
now.
my closer 3. Like, honestly, if he gets a starting and closing gig, a Kinley, Romano, Devin closing threesome doesn't stink, considering where I took most of them, let's say.
No.
So, yeah, we'll sit with that. And I love how his projections, because he's not signed, has no saves and all that. And if he doesn't sign, he gets dropped. But I'll take that gamble at that point in time.
I mean, Romano was a top tier closer, so
Yeah.
you have a lot of saves on your team right now.
And there went Christopher Sanchez, and then Carlos Estevez just went. Estevez would have been the other free agent guy that would have been enticing at that ADP. So
that's a good. Oh, I thought Estevez went to the Hoffman team because I think isn't the rumor that Estevez could go to the Blue Jays?
Yeah, that's the rumor. So that's why I kind of stayed away from that situation.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Estevez has been rumored to about 4 different teams because no one really knows what they want right now. It feels like, or at least wants to pay for it, or they're using each other as leverage type discussion points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's still a couple more closers now that I did some research that I'm like, if worse came to worse. This gives me more optimism with in future drafts now. Looking at some until ADP completely changes again, but
yeah,
something to keep in mind at least.
All right, so Justin Martinez was who I was referring to earlier.
Yes, that's the other guy I just
who I feel more comfortable with drafting now. But
yeah, I'm with you. I actually took him in my recent DC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was thinking I could take him. He's guaranteed a job over Kenley. Those are the two I was kind of debating back and forth with. But I feel like if Kenley gets signed, he's guaranteed to be the closer, where Martinez should be the closer, but I like AJ Puck a lot still. So there's moving parts there.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I'm going to take a gamble on another guy pretty soon. This is fun. Said that one. That was for you, Waxman. All right, so now he's had Mackenzie Gore. Man, a 17th round Mackenzie Gore. OCs, baby. That's all I'm going to say. OCs. I love Mackenzie Gore. 17th round. Amazing.
So that's 10 times 170, 10 times 170, and then 2 times. So it's like it's a little past pick 200 then, right?
Yeah, he would win at 213.
213. I was more than that.
213. And if you look at Mackenzie Gore on the old ADP here, ADP is 187. That was a max pick. Max was 205 before that.
Oh, nice.
I love Mackenzie Gore. And you look at the projection. Projections like him a lot too, which is pretty crazy. Like they're big fans of Mackenzie Gore.
Let me pull it up. So I know I'm not going to actually, I'm trying to think of how I compared Hunter Brown to what's his face, Mitch Keller earlier.
So who are you gonna compare Mackenzie Gore to really shoot down all hopes of life?
Well, first off, I'm searching up Mackenzie Gore in my hitters tab, so that's why I can't find him. So that's a good start. So Gore is projected for wow, they're cutting off 0.2 percentage point or 0.2 off his whip. I just can't get past Mackenzie Gore having a 1.4 whip the last 2 years.
No, he's improved his walk rate like each of the last 3 seasons. So it's like, do you believe he keeps improving, or is he who he is type thing? It's all about walks and home runs for Mackenzie Gore. Like strikeouts are great. He's proven he can throw innings now. If he can, and he's shown improvements in the walks and the power home runs. If he can continue that, he's going to be pretty darn awesome. But that's a big if, of course.
Yeah, he did have a high BABIP of 340, but I think I heard someone say the Nationals had one of the worst defenses last year.
That wouldn't surprise me. And on paper, it should be better this year.
Yeah. I mean, the ball rate was 36% for Gore. Walk rate was just below 9%. Not a good, I mean, he's kind of down the middle with most of his metrics looking at it. So, I think in a Fab league, it makes more sense to go for the upside on Gore than.
Oh, he could return in a big way if done just right. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
This year and exit were both sub 4, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's improving. How much more can he improve? I guess is the question to make him really, really fantasy viable.
Well, maybe I'm a little too low on Gore. I might have to switch that up.
There you go. Glad we could change your mind on the show.
It's happened before. I'm always open to changing my opinions when I come on the show.
That's what good podcasting is, open discussions, not having a set in stone, I guess.
I'm looking at guys who I have behind him. I'd rather take him over some of these guys. So we'll make that update.
Welcome to the Mackenzie Gore world. It's a fun place to be.
Okay, I'm gonna move him up 14 spots. That's a lot, but I'll do that afterwards. Go back to the draft. Let's make that note there.
14 spots. That's a big jump. I like it.
I mean, I was very rude to where I had him. I had him behind.
Very rude. I love that.
I had him behind Barrios, some other guys who once I switch from DCs, I'm gonna do an overhaul of my rankings, but I want to get, as I see them pop up, like the obvious ones, I'll make adjustments because I do have 3 more DCs to draft anyway. So I want to make sure I have the best list for myself.
A lot of rooms to change. That's for sure.
Neto went at the end of the 18th round.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's I can see the upside there. If he gets hurt more, or there's a setback, you can drop him. It's not going to cost you a lot. So you can definitely do worse things. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that at all. Honestly, I should have taken another outfielder by now because this is not great. Like, there's definitely options, but not the warm and fuzzy type. Let's put it that way. So I might have to address that here sooner than later. We'll see. There goes Jorge Soler. Speaking of outfielders, not the one I was looking at, but he was close to it. But what do we need here? What do we need? There's a few options. I still don't know if they're that great for an OC, but there's options. We'll get it taken care of. Not the end of the world.
You can do a lot of mix and matching too. With
the one thing talked about on the Fab shows a lot, you could stream outfield all day long.
Yeah, there was Mullins.
Yep, Mullins is what I was looking at as well. That is definitely.
Do you have any stats you're looking at, or are you just looking at positions right now?
I'm looking at projections while I look at positions.
Okay. So you're doing pretty balanced right now with what you need?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I'm pretty much in line with all of my categories. So eventually I'm gonna start screwing things up here because as the draft goes on, you're gonna find guys that are deficient somewhere. So I'm trying to find balance at this point in the draft because my upside guys might overachieve their projections. That's the goal. And I have somewhat of a balanced pick coming up if I choose to do so.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about just when it comes to drafting and myself, because I do track like you're doing right now, is kind of at what point do I need to stop looking at the projections? I think in a Fab League, it could happen earlier than a DC, because in a DC you're stuck with what you get. So I think I kind of go right to the end of the 23 starters, looking at, okay, what do I really need now? But I think in a Fab League I could probably jump ship maybe after, I don't know, maybe 10 hitters or so.
Yeah, that's why I'm not as worried about it now. Like, I'll take somebody that I think gives me pretty good upside / balance, but again, not going to crush me at the same time type thing. So we'll see if this oldie but goodie, if I get sniped on this guy or not. But maybe I don't take him yet. Oh, man, do I go there?
Uncle Ted's guy.
Which one? Oh, Kerry Carpenter. Yep, there goes Carp. Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to start shooting ADP out the window here. I could do this instead. No, I could go shortstop here as a middle infielder and switch it up. Yeah, let's take an upside play and gamble. Let's gamble. All right, let's go Trevor Story. I know people hate that pick, but I'm optimistic on him. So you guys can tell me I'm wrong. It's fine.
Bubba's team average has dropped 10 points.
Yep, that's what I was worried about when I did it. That was the first thought I had when I did it. Trust me. Pitching wise, though, man, there's some okay options out here. Is he still? Yep. Here's the pitcher guy I want to take. Give me the chance he's healthy in round 20. Jesus Luzardo.
That's a great OC pick.
Yeah, I will take that in round 20 all day long. As my SP6. Yes, I will. Thank you. I'll have another.
Somewhere the audience is clapping.
Yeah, or they're just laughing at me from the Story pick still. One of the two. Yeah, because let's see. With Story in, I only took a slight dip in batting average. Everything else is still in line. I projected hit 255, and the target's 257. So it's not that crazy. So
that's oddly close to what the DC was last year. It's 255.
Yeah, so we're gonna roll with that right there, and hope things continue on. But Yeah, I know. Like I said at the beginning of the show before we started that when you draft an OC, you should be happy with your team when you leave. Not hating it, I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
Um, especially the pitching. For waiting on pitching that long to leave with that rotation, I'll take that all day long.
I mean, I think what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 6 of your stars have 200K upside.
Yeah.
In a perfect world. I mean, I don't know how Luzardo would do after the injury. And then Gallen I have concerns with, but he's done it before. And then Flaherty's got to sign somewhere. So, yeah. I think you've done well with what you had to do.
Yeah, I rounded it out. Maybe not the perfect formula, but I rounded it out. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just got to finalize this hitting situation. Still need a first baseman. There's plenty of those that all kind of feel the same to me. Need a corner infield, need a utility, and obviously we have bench spots, 7 bench spots. We have 10 more picks to go. We're 2/3 of the way through here. A little less than an hour and a half into the draft. This is just flying by. This is awesome. That's why I love OCs also. Be in and out of here in a couple hours. It's perfect. But what are your thoughts? Like any teams standing out to you when you look at the board, Ben, that maybe some you can probably only see parts of the board now. I apologize.
That's right.
I can send you this link. Well, give me a second. Let me send you this link. You can upload it onto your computer.
Okay.
So then I'm going to text it to you right now. Probably should have done this before the show. This is premium stuff here, folks. But yeah, use that and start breaking down some teams if you want. As we're 2/3 through here and see if there's anything that stands out to you when you see it. And we can talk about those because I got to figure out some hitting here. Like Nolan Arenado's still on the board. I have zero desire to take him at all.
Definitely not in an OC either.
Yeah, it's bad. Your former second baseman still sitting there. Now a Detroit Tiger. That lost all interest for me. Like there's a gamble first baseman that's interesting.
All right.
It just depends on playing time, but that is interesting.
It still doesn't even show me the team name, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, so you just have it's. I literally just sent you the one we're all looking at. So
yeah. Nice.
Just go off of, or do you want the team names?
No, that's fine. I was just commenting on how it actually is. Oh, there was Luis Rise.
Yeah, finally in round pick 238, Rise 239 Glaber. So if you wait on second base, there you go, folks.
I have to recalibrate as I look at these teams.
Yeah, now you got to get reacclimated to the board and see what you got. But like, I don't want to keep moving and scrolling for the people watching online is the problem.
Okay, I'm intrigued by Team 10, what they've done, which is the Patreon, former Patreon member once the draft's over.
Yeah, he's done some good things, that's for sure.
Yeah. Looking at Team 9. Too many picks are going on. I keep seeing a big sticker as I look at teams.
What do you like about Team 10 per se when you're staring at it?
I like the way they did the 3 hitters first, and they went with Kirby, King, and Schwellenbach as their first 3 pitchers. And
that's a good starting 3, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Almost as good as my team, almost.
I haven't taken everyone they've drafted, but I know Betts is a little up in the air, but Tatis in the second round I think is really good. Trey Turner is solid. It's kind of balanced like you're hitting.
Yeah.
But they have good pitch.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, it's fair.
No, and then they also waited on closer, which I like to do in Fab Leagues. They went Scott and Hoffman. Hopefully Hoffman doesn't get kicked out by Estevez for their sake. So Team 10 looks good. Joe Adele just went off the board. He's a good OC pick.
Yep. Yeah, the Team 5 is making some very nice OC picks. Boomer bust type plays. That's for sure.
And we know who Team 5 is. I'm looking at Team 5 right now.
Yep. He's got a very
very boomy.
Yeah, it's a boomer bust team. That's for sure. That's what do you want to do? I don't know how many of these he's going to do, but it's definitely the idea.
The only pick I don't really like, I get the Sasaki. I just don't trust the health. I'm not a big fan of Harris, but I think McLean's a good upside pick. Ozuna in the 7th was a good value. Really good value. That's post pick 72. Wow, that's really good. McGill seemed to be late. He's the one who took Grayson, Castillo, Jarrett Jones. Yeah, and I think Bichette's a good bounce back candidate. So I'm a fan with what 5 did.
Team 5. Ben's a fan.
Yeah. Say thank you in my DMs on Twitter. That's what we're for. Team 4 is interesting. They kind of did what you did. They waited till round 7 for pitching.
Here's my corner infield bounce back.
Who you're taking with?
Christopher Morel.
After we just talked about him on the third base show.
Yes, I will take that potential bounce back.
I think now you have to draft. I was going to say Jung Hoo Lee already went, but with Story and Morel, now your average is getting tested.
Yeah, it took a hit. It's down to 253 now. So yeah, we're moving the wrong direction. All right, sorry, you're talking about Team 4. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, Team 4 went Ellie, Harper, Riley, Alonso. That's a lot of upside. And then the Hader, Munoz, Ober. I don't think it's the players I would have taken with that strategy, but they kind of did what you did, waiting on starting pitching. Nolan Jones just went pretty late compared to what happened last year.
I was looking at him a couple of rounds ago when I took Story. I was looking at Nolan Jones. Maybe I should have done that in hindsight. And I'm gonna take a chance. I know this is for you, Uncle Ted. This is for you, buddy. I think Chandler starts the year with the team, so I'll take that chance right now.
He was a Gladiator pick, one of the last Gladiator picks I made for you. So
yeah, he wasn't going to come back to me. I don't think so. I'll take that as my first reserve starting pitcher. I'll take that one right there.
I also like so I would say my favorites are probably outside of not yours. I would say 5, 10, and 12 are the ones I kind of.
I don't know
the most.
I know the name of 12. I don't know who 12 is. Apologize on that, but obviously I know who 5 is. I know who 10 is, and I'm not surprised that those are 2 very good teams. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, not all the picks for 12, but I like a good. What they did is pretty intriguing. I don't know if I would have taken Strider, but it is an OC, so I get that.
Build accordingly. You can do some of that. But yeah, Team 12 went with Vladito, Churio. I love the Churio Langford combo. That could be amazing. Like, really could be. Burns, Bryce Miller, Lawrence Butler with Langford. That's a heck of an outfield. Robert Suarez, Nola Strider, then Dylan Cruz. Man, they're all young outfielders. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of Tovar, but to each their own. He went with the Matt Shaw pick we talked about, and Alec Bohm. Then Bowden Francis, Porter Hodge. He gets a little off my rails. Like I want to draft next to him. That's all I have to say, because it could work for him. I'm not saying that part. It's just these are players I don't take, so this works out well.
There's some I like. There's some that I don't. I do like the Arrighetti and the Reese Olson picks.
Ivan Herrera just went middle of round 22. If I didn't take Kyber, I was going to push Herrera up a round or 2. That would have been my dude to take.
He would help your average. I mean, Ruiz should help your average though too.
Yeah.
I'm just so scared about Pedro Pajes with Herrera.
Yeah, because if they pick defense over hitting, which St. Louis does from time to time, then Pedro Pajes screws that whole thing up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
and then Kopech just went. Is that the first Dodger closer besides Scott that's gone? I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's the first one, yeah.
I don't think Tryon's gone off the board yet.
That would be the first one, indeed.
Oh, Jackson Jobe kind of went early. He went in the 20th.
That is an early Jackson Jobe, because talking with Marty Tallman, he's got concerns on what total, like he thinks he starts the year with the team, but how do they utilize him is the question. So
he makes more sense though in this draft, because you could drop him right away if he's not up or whatever.
Yeah, once things go the wrong direction, you can move on and not worry about it. That's for sure.
Oh, so this is interesting. Nathaniel Lowe went before Ryan Mountcastle. I would have had it the other way around.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. But I still don't have a first baseman. Might want to look into that one of these days.
I was just thinking, I'm like, I would have liked one of those 2 guys for you.
I'm still looking. There's other guys I liked very similar to them, and then I kept scrolling. There's guys I like past almost picked 350 to 400. I'm like, if worst came to worst, I could live with them. Might be wrong, but yeah.
There is one available, but I don't think his average is good for your team.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces is probably who you're thinking of.
Younger version of Reese's
Oh,
Pieces.
yeah, no, that's who I was looking at way earlier. I said, he could be interesting in an OC. But then I'm like, I don't even know what the playing time is. He's very, very tilting. So, yeah, great ballpark, though. Great ballpark.
Yeah, I've been leaning. I'm a big fan of taking his teammates, I think.
Yeah, so I get you there as well.
Him and his teammates. I have drafted him, the player. I'm pretty sure we're both thinking of the same player this time. I do have him on one of my DCs so far.
Okay,
I kind of jumped him too. I think I took him like in the 250s or something. I was aggressive in getting him because I got shut out once before. I played ADP chicken in my previous draft and kind of got me annoyed. So I wanted to make sure I got him at least once.
So I need first base, I need utility, and then it's all bench from there. I already have one bench spot filled because I'm not a sucker to having to fill my roster right away. But man, I know it's a known fact. I'm not stating anything new, but batting average gets disgusting as you go down this board.
I'm trying to think who would be there.
There ain't much. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, go to the projection sheet.
Okay, let me see.
The one that was on the Patreon.
Do I want average or weighted average?
Go with weighted average because it'll be meaningful.
But I want the plus number, not the minus number, Bubba. All right, let's see what we can find, at least in the first base department. Or, yeah, this is where it would have helped if I was eliminating things, as you mentioned.
Learning experience.
Well, you think I could figure out how to eliminate these as I draft without just manually taking them out?
Just delete rows, Bubba.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would be doing. I'd be like, gone. But then other people are utilizing this sheet that I passed out that I'm utilizing.
You're using the one that's posted to the Discord?
I'd have to make a copy. Yeah.
Yeah, someone's using it concurrently with you and there's losing players.
They'd log in and be like, what the heck just happened to all the players on the sheet?
That'd be funny.
It would be, because that's an easy fix, but
yeah,
it'll be entertaining.
Re-upload it.
Yeah, this is not good. The more I scroll down this,
yeah, look, you kind of want
like there's a dude, but he doesn't.
You want double digits in the weighted average column, I would say.
Yeah, there's none of those left. I'm at like the first guy I noticed, unless I'm just completely blind, is 7.3 in the weighted average.
Jeez, all right.
That's what I'm saying. It's pretty bleak at this point in time, Ben. We've jumped the shark on the average department.
And well,
that's what happens when you wait and stack up an elite pitching staff.
Bub's gonna have awful ratios on this team.
Yep, that's the story. That's always my problem. This is why I just don't win overalls. I can't.
Oh, I know someone who could help you with average potentially, and he's a first baseman. And it's your pick.
Yeah, I'm really curious who you're talking about now.
But he's got a Luis Arias-esque barrel rate. So if you're okay with no power.
That's who I think you're. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about then.
Curlin wants to know which team is yours and why does it suck?
Yeah, that sounds about like right for Curlin.
Okay,
we'll go with this guy because I'm reaching, obviously, when I'm trying to fill a spot. And out of all the first basemen that can give me 20 home runs, his average isn't the worst. But his counting stats might suck. But at this point in the draft, we can work with that.
That was a quick Brendan Donovan. That was right after you went.
Yeah, can you slow down a second? I need to focus on my next pick. But yeah, this is interesting. Is the best way I'll say it, because there are some massive values.
I'll wait till you're done picking.
No, you can say what you wish.
I can't post it, but Ryan's saying that looks like you've carried your whip strategy over to your batting average.
Hey, as Ben has kept track of, it's better than it was before. And then here is a pick I'm going to make. Again, way ahead of ADP, but I don't care. Give me Jock Jams.
I just took Jock Jams today. Nice.
So I'll take that. That rounds out all of that. And now we're on to the bench. And if I use just that starting, average 253, you want 257. So we can work with that. 74 runs compared to you want 78, but 23 homers, you want 22, 75 ribbies, 12 steals, 14 steals. So if I get some guys to overachieve, which I'm shooting for on some of them, we survive. We survive. Yeah, I'm just going to blame Ryan on this. Don't worry about it. Mike
Ryan,
Kerwin.
he wanted to go hitting heavy to start. I was not going to be able to sway him.
It looks like Bubba has carries. Yeah, I did. Next time I can't wait till next Monday. For Ryan's, if anybody's interested, Ryan has a Beat Ryan Bloomfield OC next Monday night. Sign up. There's a few spots available. Mike Kerwin, Bubba doesn't realize he can't punt 2 categories, but there he is. Yep, that's right, Kerwin. That's right. But yeah, we're getting there. Now we're into the reserve rounds where it's gonna get dicey all of a sudden. I can tell already.
The mascot just went off, the new mascot.
That's a good pick. I just don't love him with my build / this format per se. Like, he's a streamer for me in a 12-15. I love him. Obviously, DC's even better because of the flexibility. We mentioned that a lot. Mitch Keller's still available. Should I get him to match things
No,
up?
you already have. I mean, unless you want the Spider-Man meme, then
I have the new version. Now see, we got 2 memes going on now. Even more fun.
Aren't there 3 Spider-Men? I think you have to find a third picture then if you want to use that one.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Don't know if I want to go that
I mean,
deep.
I can look. I can do some digging.
Yeah, I bet you could find one in your little profile there. Wouldn't be surprised if you figured that out. Brian Bale doesn't strike enough guys out.
Okay, you can. Here's a good average guy. Let me go by ADP rank. You got Jeff McNeil there for you for some average.
Yeah, Spencer Horwitz was there. I was looking at him, but he has no power.
Yeah. Oh, you took the wrong util only guy.
Oh, there's another one.
Yoshida for average.
Oh, for average, but yeah, nothing comes with it.
No.
And he might, who knows what his job status will be here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that's a problem as well.
Yeah. You go ADP ranked past 250 to make it a smaller list. Yeah, Vaughn's actually, I mean, his projected average is 254, which is kind of right in line with the 80th percentile. With the DC one, it's right in line. So.
Yeah, see, I'm not that far off. All you guys talking your trash. It's okay.
But you need someone above the target because you're so below the target. So.
Yeah. Minor details.
Oh wait, yeah, I'm sure he's gone by now. Actually, no,
we're late enough. Just throw names out.
Tyro
is still available. Last time I checked. Yeah, he is still available. Last time I checked. So.
Yeah.
I'm
a big Tyro fan, of course. I think the bounce back is very possible.
I am always a Tyro fan. You don't have to worry about that.
There's definitely some guys. I mean, I don't think Otto Lopez is gone yet, but I'm thinking DC still. You want a little more upside.
Yeah, they just bring such a just boring floor that I'd rather take the gamble type situation. I just need Junior Caminero to hit 290. It's okay. Not that high.
I think he could definitely hit a lot higher than what he's projected for.
He's gonna bust through those kind of projections and see what happens. And if worse comes to worse, I take Otto Lopez late and see where it goes.
I mean, but even with Austin Wells, he's kind of underperformed. I'll finish my thought first. Wells has kind of underperformed his expected stats, so I think that he could be a 240, 250 hitting catcher instead of a 220. But Ryan thinks you should get Ichiro out of retirement to help you out.
Ryan Bloomfield, Ichiro will help your average. And then here's Kerlin with Jock and early OC is mad. He's platooning, so he's a streamer at best, and he could have taken upside play to see if they hit instead since you've got that first fab week. Jock will get picked. He won't be undrafted in this, I'll tell you that much. That's I would have been shocked if Jock wasn't picked. I could be wrong. I have not done an OC yet, but since I do have ADP up, well, Jock has only been taking 1 of 3 drafts so far, so Kerlin might be right. God, that hurt to say. Kerlin might be right there.
Well, I mean, his ADP is within the 360, but at that point, at the end of the draft, you're probably looking for a little more upside, so you'd probably pass on Jock typically. I think that's where Mike's coming from.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong. He's right.
I mean, if he had MLB playing time working, you might already know that, though. So
that's what I need. I need those kind of things to help me out.
Those tools.
Like I probably should take like Kyle Manzardo instead of Jock. That's probably what people would tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Jock's.
Manzardo has not been.
Manzardo
has not been taken any OCs yet. By the way, just throwing that out there.
Love you, Mike. Don't worry. I was messing with you.
Oh, don't kiss up to him now. What's the fun in that?
Brendan wants to know about Brandon 5-time.
Oh yeah, he got drafted, not by me, by everybody else.
I mean, Bubba could have tried looking for him, but he doesn't want to say anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to give it away.
DJ Hers, I love that pick.
Yep, big Hurst fan.
I keep playing ADP chicken on him, and I haven't been one of 3 DCs, but I kind of wait, and with the rooms that I'm in, he goes. I have to stop doing that. I have to take him a little bit earlier if I want him. It's
yeah, you got to do what I do. You just got to break the molds. Now, I'm going to do one here, a guy I usually never pick, but he's fallen a ton, and as my bench guy, I'll take my chance with Max Muncy. So that's a
Bubba just put the final nail in his average coffin.
He's on my bench. Remember, we stopped checking the tracker. We talked about this.
I can't believe that he is the perfect OC pick, though. If he could hit 240, 250.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick there. I like that one.
Yeah, at that point,
very good pick.
I took
Honestly,
him.
I started him over Morel for you.
Yeah, I took him at 299. His max was 252 before that. Got 40 picks on that.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone hates Muncy. I mean, I don't have him yet myself, but I think the hate is a little too far.
I agree.
Bobby Miller just went. He's the 18th starting pitcher in the Dodgers rotation. So,
yeah, Bobby Miller, old strategy, Cotton.
Lawler went, so he's in your player pool already.
Yep.
Durbin went. Wow.
See, and people are giving me a hard time now.
Well, Durbin has. Oh, Ortiz is still there. Yeah, he's more of a DC pick than an OC pick. He could pop off though. I don't know.
We'll see. I got 3 more. So I got 4 more picks to go here. 4 more picks to go.
This might be done in 2 hours.
Oh yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking. Oh look at now, Curlin. Curlin. I love the Chandler and Luzardo picks. Thank you. He's kissing up to me now. So now we're getting somewhere. That's good to hear.
Just went.
And Curlin, I will have you back on the show soon. Don't cry. Don't cry, buddy. It's okay.
I miss hearing Mike's voice. All 130 words a minute.
I was going to say, when he gets on the mic, you hear a lot of it.
I know it's a lot. I just guessed the number.
Just messing with him now. Yeah, this is the hardest part about 12s because I know I'm going to replace most of these guys come the first fab period. So it's like, where do I really want to go with some of these picks?
Yeah, you're in the last 4 bench spots, so it's
like throw some Hail Marys here pretty soon.
Yeah, just go wild.
Like I could take the Spider-Man Jock here in a minute. That's why I probably should have picked when I picked Jock, actually. So
I would try to take some pitching upside plays.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, personally, I do that anyway, but I think considering how your draft started, I think it might be I mean, well, what do you have? Jock on your bench and Max on your bench? Is that how it looks right now?
No, I have Max on my bench. I have Bubba Chandler on my bench, and I have Nestor Cortez on my bench.
So you have 2 pitchers and 1 hitter right now?
Yeah.
All right. So I would say maybe 1 more hitter and then the rest pitchers. All
right. Sounds like a plan, Coach. Let's see. Who do we like coming through here as I scroll down the pitching world? You want upside, though. Most of these are boring as hell.
Yeah, the pitching.
There's one I kind of like right now. We can look at that.
I think you might be looking at like fringe 6th man starters potentially at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to click on him potentially, see where he fits in. Like him. I mean, Jordan Montgomery wouldn't count for this one?
I think he's someone that's worth the flyer because he was a top in an OC top 10 round pick at one point. Or
that's where I'm thinking. Like I love Jomo. I can't quit him.
Well, I mean,
I can't.
There's the guy in the White Sox everybody loves who has pretty good underlying numbers. But I don't know if you want the White Sox win kind of split. Well, yeah, you might know who I'm talking about, but
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, the win potential isn't really there.
There is no win potential with him. Yeah. That is correct.
There's one guy in the Guardians that's pretty popular in DCs right now.
This one's intriguing.
I actually just took that guy in the Guardians in my DC.
On the Guardians, he says. Okay. I'll have to go take a peek at that. There he is. This guy I was looking for. I thought he was going to get more innings than that. That doesn't seem
there goes Soderstrom, the guy who...
big power option there.
He went 5 rounds after Vaughn did.
Interesting.
Well, it is a
Okay.
12-teamer, so there's only so many spots that have to get filled. So
Valid. Got that. I'm gonna start taking some. Ooh. He's still available. I like that. Sorry, I know this is great radio, folks, but
I'll try to pick it up.
no, you're fine. I'm trying to just brain kind of figure these last few pieces out here. Not sure if it's a good idea or not, but we're rolling with somebody's like, there's your White Sox guy. I just saw him.
You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, I think
just came across him down here. Everybody loves him unless you're Chris Torres of the Fantasy Baseball Beat. You do not like him.
I think he tweeted that he's open to taking him now.
Oh, he's changed his tune?
I think he did.
Okay. We're going to... I was going to do it. Let me just check something real quick.
You could also gamble on the Braves fifth starter until...
Yeah, that's who I had highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was looking at.
Ryan Nelson just went. Detmers went. Here goes Shinwell finally. Your average savior.
Yeah, your average. Yeah, the guy that I pick up on the waiver wire 12 times in an OC. I'm going to go with this one and see how this plays out.
Okay, that's a very good one.
Yeah, that's who I was looking at. There goes Acuna. I was kind of thinking about taking him, but I don't know. I like him. I just don't know if he has enough power. Not like it matters with my team right now.
Wow, Bo almost didn't get drafted. 28th round.
I'll go with another pitcher in a minute, but I'm going to take this guy because I'm a believer here, and I should have taken him instead of Jock. Matt Wallner.
That's a good upside pick right there.
Yeah. So before he disappears, because there's more pitchers I can gamble with as the draft goes on, scrolling through there. So I'll take those as some upside stuff. Grant Holmes, Brent Allen is who I took. That is correct. What else we got going in the chat here? Story just can't hit, not in Coors. I don't know. He hit pretty fine in his short sample size when he came back from his injury, David.
Brent asked about Michael McGreevy. I like him.
McGreevy's a good one. Yep, I like that as well. That's got some potential for sure. As we are in round 28 now, folks. I have 2 picks to go. Obviously, some people have 3 picks to go. We are cruising through the finish here, and I got to pick. I'm going to trust Ben here. I need 2 more pitchers to round out my bench.
I missed your Nestor pick. I like that one. That's
I'm a huge fan of his ADP in all formats that I've been drafting so far. I think he's going to pitch pretty much every 5th day as long as he doesn't get hurt, and I think there's a lot to like there. A lot to like.
I'm not sure how the park plays compared to Yankee Stadium, but there goes Sean Burks. Or Sean Burke.
Yeah, there's Sean Burke. I just couldn't do it. Like I see it, but I don't believe it. I guess could be totally wrong on that one.
I think he's a good pick would have been like if you have a couple of guys at the top that you can count on for wins. But since you waited on pitching, you kind of need wins from every spot that you take. So
yeah, more like the Nestor types. Potentially the Nestor types. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean Nestor's he was great the 4 years he was with the Yankees. It's just that he ended on a pretty bad note.
Yeah, one pitch. One pitch on a tee, one might say.
Hey, I will give Uncle Ted some credit here. He said Cody Bradford. That's a pretty solid suggestion.
Yep, I have him starred. He is on there. And one guy I can never get rid of, but he will blow my ratios up if I were to do it. But Charlie Morton is he's a better streamer, don't get me wrong. But he just continues to put up the
he's another whip bomb.
I think he killed the whip, but the strikeouts and the win potential on the Orioles is it's there. That's why
I guess if you could stream him in the best spots, it could be a pretty good option.
Bench streamer time. Hey, there's that Noah Schultz guy.
Livy's new boyfriend, apparently, according to Dom.
Livy Dunn, congratulations. Man, there's one guy that if he somehow falls back to me, I'm going to be pretty pumped on. That's all I'm going to say. I almost took him instead of Wallner this last time. So I'd be shocked if he's still there, but that'd be pretty sweet if he's still there. It would it'd be close to a max pick. I think it would be a max pick if he fell to me. So that'd be pretty sweet. All right, what's the chat saying? I think I got all my guys queued up that I'm going to potentially queue up the rest of the time. Adam Lee says Gavin has the velo and the pedigree. Gavin Williams, that is, I'm assuming. Britt Allen says Naylor. I barely knew her. That is correct. Very good stuff there, my friend. Uncle Ted's having his own conversation with himself. Adam Lee said Zach Lytle. I like Lytle. I have him start as well. I think he's got some potential.
I would have caution with Lytle.
Which part about it?
His home road splits. He was awful on the road last year. So
going to the new ballpark might be a problem. Good point. Good call. Fair assessment.
I've been hesitant to draft other Rays, but definitely I really moved Lytle down my board because he had like a 5 ERA and a pretty bad whip on the road. So
Vogel just took Jomo at the second to last pick of round 28.
I forgot about him. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh well.
No, if he fell, I was going to do it, but I wanted to get the upside with the Holmes-Wallner turn the last time.
Is Max Meyer there? I feel like he has some decent upside.
He should still be there.
Yeah, I saw Tobias Myers. I thought it was Max at first.
Max is still there.
Yeah.
I'll add him to the list of stars. We've got plenty of them here.
How big's your list?
There's probably 25 people on it.
Oh, you're fine.
That's what I'm saying.
There's fewer picks left.
Yeah, that's why I'm hanging out in the draft room now, hanging out with you guys. So I'm like, I'm just going to scroll over there when it's my turn and throw a dart and see where it lands at this point. But, yeah, it's been fun. First off, thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hope it was somewhat fun and entertaining for you. It's different on our side over here, trying to keep it going while we talk picks, but keep you in line. So it's a lot of fun. How did you like your first experience, Ben? We'll talk more when the draft's over, but how did you like it?
I liked it. I know I didn't bring the heat
Stop
like
it.
you watching Ryan would do or Ryan watching you would do, but I think we had a good time either way. So
it was fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, you'll probably get to be doing at least one more of these, but because I stream most of my drafts when I can. So
I think I was on for someone's auction last year.
It's probably me. I streamed my auction, so I might have you help with that if you're up to it. That'll be a different animal. But there goes the closer for the Rockies to Team 5, Seth Halverson. I was looking at him a second ago, but thank God I don't need a third closer. Would you rather take the potential closer in Colorado in Halverson or the potential closer in Chicago in Baroa?
Oh, Halverson.
Okay. Yeah, it was like the last two that were kind of up for grabs there per se when I was looking at things. So, yeah.
I've been wanting to take Halverson in my DCs as my third reliever, but everyone he's a pretty hot name, at least in the 400s. So I always wait too long.
Yeah, no, I could see that being a problem. That's for sure.
Because I'm at that point too. I try not to wait long enough where I need a closer that early. With my RP2, I try to go a little bit earlier, so I don't really have to go for an early RP3. But that's what's happening. The teams that don't have a solid closer 2 are kind of pushing him or going for him first. So I haven't been in that situation yet, unfortunately. All
right, I'm going to take the bait here. Let's set the max on this one. I'll take a chance on Cutter Crawford right now.
Oh wow, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I almost took him last time. I'll take that right there and see what we can put together on that one.
I'm surprised nobody took him.
Yeah, you and me both. And then with my last pick, do I go Great American Small? I'll let you help me. Do I go Great American with Brady Singer, or do I go to Texas with Cody Bradford?
Cody Bradford.
All right. Final pick of the draft, Cody Bradford. Here we go.
There you go.
We'll do a quick recap when this is all said and done, but round 30 wrapping up here, and I guess we can recap my team now. Well, we'll see what these final picks are because Team 10 is on the board. He's wrapping. He took Chase DeLauder with his previous pick, so he got DeLauder. Gamble went away here. We'll see who he goes with his final pick of the draft. But fun one. OC in, out, done, which was beautiful.
Less than 2 hours.
Yeah, Britton says go Vols. Adam Lee, I almost went with Birdsong. I was looking at Hayden Birdsong. I'm with you there. He was on the brain on that last pick, but I wanted to go. So Edward Cabrera went to Team 10. He was on my list, but I don't know. I'll take the guy on a better team and see what happens. Could be wrong. But would you have gone Cabrera over Bradford?
Edward Cabrera over? No, God, no.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was. I'm like, I know I can see the ceiling with Cabrera, but we're asking for a miracle. There goes Jake Cronenworth, who I stared at many times, but he lacks power for my leg. But he could find his way into 20 homers in a weird world. So you never know.
Yeah, he's a 15-teamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Draft and hold because of the first and second. And he's not the best for your average. Oh, there was Tyra. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I almost took him instead of a last pitcher, but I want to load up on the pitchers. Hayden Wesneski, that's a really good pick. If he does get in the rotation, like Houston says they're going to, as your final pick, round 30, take the chance, see what spring training does. I like that. There goes Brady Singer, who maybe a better stability than an upside play, I guess is the way I could say that.
I was. You wanted to shoot for the moon with those last picks.
Waxman Team 5 takes Adrian Del Castillo for his third catcher, I believe. I believe it was his third catcher. Could be wrong. Let me check.
One,
two. No, he's got 2. That's the second catcher. Bart and Del Castillo as catchers 1 and catcher 2.
Brian Bayo goes.
Yeah, Brian Bayo, one of the guys I take a lot. There goes Seawald. I guess hoping he figures out how to close at some point. Not sure when or how, but interesting. Brian De La Cruz. And the final pick of the draft is, drum roll, please. Just kidding. Let's see where we go off the board here. Goes to IKF. IKF with the final pick. Would not have guessed that in a long time. That's for sure. Wow, didn't see that one coming. All right, Ben, let's heckle me. Let's have fun. J-Rod Lindor, O'Neal Cruz, Devin Williams, Jose Altuve, Teoscar, Seiya, Caminero, Peralta, Hunter Brown, a.k.a. Mitch Keller, Carlos Rodon, Zach Gallen, Austin Wells, Jack Flaherty, Jordan Romano, Elliot Ramos, Kyler Ruiz, Kenley Jansen, Trevor Story, Jesus Luzardo, Christopher Morel, Bubba Chandler, Andrew Vaughn, Jock Jams, Max Muncy, Nestor Cortez, Grant Holmes, Matt Wallner, Cutter Crawford, Cody Bradford. That is a squad as of January 20th. Give me your honest opinions.
Okay. I love the powerhouse offense you started with. And then considering what you had to do with pitching, I love the picks you made and at the end for your bench. Cutter could easily finally stop giving up homers. The problem with Cutter, though, is the homer or the fly ball rate. But Holmes was dominant. Nestor has shown that can be an early round pick. Cody Bradford was great before he got hurt. Bubba Chandler could be a huge breakout. Luzardo could be a huge bounce back. So you took a lot of good flyers to try to get that ace that you didn't draft. And despite having Mitch Keller as your SP2, but it looks good. I mean, I haven't done a 12-teamer like this in a while, so it's I'm sure it's loaded on paper, and I think so. Would you do the strategy again? How early you want to go with it? Starting pitcher next time?
See, I don't know. I liked it, but I think I got lucky. Like with having Freddie fall there in round 9. If Freddie doesn't fall there, I start panicking probably and start just throwing things at the wall. I'd probably go pitcher earlier. I'll be honest. And a lot of it also depends on what area of the draft I'm drafting in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy with the way it turned out. Yeah, there's some issues. Obviously, batting average took a bit of a hit after the pretty good base I put in play there. It kind of came crashing down, but I'm also expecting some guys to overachieve. So see how that plays out. The Elliot Ramos pick, I love Elliot. Probably would have gone somewhere else with that pick. Adelise, I think I'd rather gamble on Adelise with that one.
That would hurt your average even more, though, probably.
It would have hurt my average a ton more.
But then you probably wouldn't have taken Story and Morel afterwards.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have gone Story. But even that was the biggest thing we know it talking into what we talk about on our shows. But man, batting average gets horrific as the draft goes on, especially in a 12-teamer where you want more ceiling. Like in a 15, there were still some guys like your Shan Wells, your Horwitz, your Cronenworth you can make do with, even Otto Lopez. But in a 12, it feels like it's just they're kind of a lost cause because then you have to play them, and now we're back to the Luis Ariz situation.
Mm-hmm. And you can't afford to have a huge hole like that in power and speed in the 12-teamer. So you really have to have a ton of upside power speed if you're going to take Luis Ariz, I think. And it's still one spot at that. It's one player at that point. How much is he really going to help your average? You know, you're really putting a lot of pressure on him to hit above 300 and with a lot of volume behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, Cruz could, So Lindor and Cruz, well, J-Rod's average wasn't the best last year. So those guys are all kind of, I think they have pretty wide range of outcomes when it comes to average. But Altuve, Teoscar, Suzuki, and Caminero should all be 270 plus.
Yeah. And
ideally.
I feel that should help a ton,
Yeah.
obviously. If Austin Wells can produce a big, got Kyber with a good average, and Elliott, the power's in question, but the average should be 260 plus, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the question marks for sure. There's a lot of question marks.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not the most sure and steady team, but potential. There's potential. I've been told that potential's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where that goes. Who's your favorite team when you look? I know you kind of mentioned Team 5 earlier, Team 10. Do you like how they finish things up? You still standing with them as your kind of go-tos as your top two teams here?
Yeah, I like Waxman's picks at the end. I don't like what he did with the catcher, but it is a 12-teamer, so there's probably gonna be some options at some point. Took upside on Walker. Conforto could be a solid pick for him. So look at Team 12. Yeah, Team 12 added Kobe Mayo into your player pool, and Johnny DeLuca with last pick's pretty good upside. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have taken a Brendan Donovan in an OC. He's more of a boring, safe pick for like a DC, but he did take upside with Durbin and Acuna, so I like those flyers, and he took a chance on the Nolan Jones bounce back as well. So, I don't agree with all the picks that Team 12 made, but I definitely like some of them. And but then that's gonna happen though. I mean, I don't even like all my picks sometimes either.
Yeah, hey, he didn't like all my picks either, folks. So you learn to live with it. But yeah, that was fun. We're not going to go through every team here. People could have got that through the show. Could go rehash it and see where things go. But I guess I've already asked you once. We'll do one more time. Final thoughts overall. What are your thoughts on this OC? It's January 20th. Not my team per se, but just the OC in general, and how it's got your head thinking because you've been doing DC so far. 4 honeys, nonetheless.
Real quick, who's the best player available in the draft room if you have it open still?
In the draft room, just in general, not my best player, but the best player.
Yeah.
Based on rank in the NFBC ranks is Jonah Heim. After him, if we don't want to talk catchers, is Jose Caballero.
Okay, so those two aren't the best. So good job by the draft room.
Yeah, no, going down the boards like Caballero, Hyson Kim, who's not even signed yet, Andrew Painter, who we know is not until midseason. And the thing is, like, and when Ben said, like, when he said Mayo's in the player pool now, it's if these guys don't get drafted, you can't bid on them until they get called up type thing. So putting them in the player pool if you get dropped makes it interesting.
There's DeLauder, Kjerstad I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Marte potentially, Noleve. So final thoughts. Trying to think about the fab picks or the players that I would take in a fab league compared to, well, also it's like two different variables are changing. It's the league size, and then also the point that there's fab now. So it's a lot of adjusting compared to what my mindset is, and I still have a few more DCs to go. But it's some players definitely did drop, and some did get pushed up. I was definitely surprised at the pitching push early. I was expecting more, or not as many, at least closers to go as early as they did. Like we still had fourth round. The fourth round was the first, so that's in the 30s and 40s. So that's kind of like a DC, I guess, but still earlier for a fab league than I was expecting. So that was different, and still early pitching. We had 4 pitchers in the second round, which is kind of surprising. 4 starters. At least 3 of them are deserving. I don't know about Sale, but the 3 made sense. So it's in terms of where the pitching went, it's not a whole lot different. I mean, you still managed to get a solid team with waiting. So I think that's definitely a viable strategy in a 12-teamer is pull a Bubba and punt pitching until round 9.
Yeah, it worked. I don't recommend it all the time, but it worked. But I was shocked at the pitching going off the board. I've done a lot of OCs, and every room's different. Sometimes they'll go quick, but I don't remember one getting this crazy. And especially when you look through the time that we're drafting. This was like again January 20th, doing one in March, like late March, when you have a more like I guess firm foundation on what the starting rotations are. It makes sense. And the early pitchers should be in the rotation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But you also know health's a little more clear, all those kind of things. You see guys move around more. So usually when I do an earlier DC, even if it's like in February, you'll see pitching go a little later type thing because there's so many questions still. So that's why I was really surprised when this took place. I was like, huh, interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Britton, you asked me to scroll up. I scrolled up for you, buddy. Go check that out. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up there, man. Thanks for joining me. Truly appreciate it. I love live streaming drafts. I've done them by myself. They are not nearly as entertaining because I'm just staring at my stuff, trying to entertain people. Having you to throw things back and forth with helps a ton. So thanks for that. And hopefully you'll join me at another one down the road. That would be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me be the one to come on and talk with you through it. So I had a great time. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back. We got team previews coming at you. You got the Twins. Twins is already out. You're going to have the A's on Tuesday, so on and so forth down the line. So get ready for those. Got James Anderson joining me on Wednesday. Check that out as well. Got some fun stuff there. Ben will be back with me next week to talk some more outfield debates, or maybe I'll decide to do another draft. Who knows? But we'll have some fun with that. Probably debates. Let's not get crazy. But until then, check out Ben on Twitter at Breaking Ben _T. I am at BDentric. This was Benched with Bubba, episode 720. Catch y'all next time.